I think we're live. Let's see. My audio's on. I think your audio is on as well. So here we are. Everybody, welcome to another Pixel Sprite. Here we go. Welcome to another Pixel Sprites and Nonsense Live, episode 21. My name's
Mm-hmm.
Benjiro, and with me today are Vash
Hey, who? So,
and Met.
wow.
Hey, we're
This is a
doing
great
great.
start.
Fantastic opening. And
Yep.
Metzman.
Hey, who?
Hello.
So I've been gone for 2 weeks, but these guys handled the podcast with flair and style. So really happy about
Really?
that. I'm gonna be back. I'm back for just this week. I'll be gone again next week, but I'll be back
Mm-hmm.
after that. After that, because it's like a family retreat thing. I'll be back
Mm-hmm.
for at least the end of the season.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's run the intro and let's get into the meat of today's episode.
Wait, are we ready? I shouldn't have done that move because now my camera's all effed up again.
Okay. Well, we're back. And his camera has effed up now.
Yep. It's blurry,
Fantastic.
but I don't. It's just a camera.
That's
I
okay.
don't look good anyway, so.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's for the viewers to decide, you vain little man.
I'm not vain. I don't look good. That's what I said.
Hey,
I
Marika.
don't look good.
How are you doing? Marco is here in chat.
Hey,
And we're
Marco.
going to talk about what we played this week. So let's start off with Metzman. What did you do this week?
A lot of different things, but very short things, because because of all the showcases, a lot of demos came out, and I wanted to try some of them. So first of all, I finished Rot, the boomer shooter, the brown boomer shooter.
Oh.
Very funny ending. It has one of those fake out end bosses that I'm not going to spoil, but it's really funny. You first are like, what am I having to do here? And then it turns out to be a reference to a specific movie. And you're like, I get it. Very funny. Overall, game is fantastic. Enjoyed my time with it. And wrote a review on Steam for it as well. Just because, they like that and get some more voices in the atmosphere.
Yep.
But yeah, I enjoyed my time with Rot. Loved the jokes. Great overall third episode as well. And yeah, that's about it for Rot. So finished that. Then I played a very short horror game called Incident at Grove Lake. It was one of those. It's one of those itch.io games experiences, and it's about an alien invasion, or not an alien invasion, alien encounter.
Okay.
And it's just a short, one of those short interactive experiences that you can go through, and it's based on, if you ever heard that UFO call on the Art Bell show. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where there's a radio show that's all about UFOs and stuff. Art Bell, who is also featured in the original Prey game as the radio host in the beginning.
Yeah.
So on his show, but then the real show, there was a caller that called in panic, and he claimed to be a former Area 51 employee. And he was on the run, and he was trying to give as much information as possible about what was going on there. And then his connection got cut at a certain point, and the whole radio station went down. So that happened. And that always has been a very mysterious radio call. And this game is about what happened to that man, basically. So it's it's funny. It's a little interactive. Horror-esque, thriller-esque thingy, and it's kind of fun. Yeah, it's short but sweet. It's one of those things where you can get it for free on itch.io, or you can pay whatever amount you want to support the developer. So yeah, it's a little pausing for a long time. There's a lot of VHS stuff in it, and there's a cool like sort of revelation, you get rewarded for exploring and stuff. It's funny, but it's it's short but sweet. And after that, I played the Lies of P demo, which, of course, is the Souls-like based on Pinocchio.
So what did you think?
I liked it.
Yeah?
It. It is very Souls-like.
It's extremely Souls-like. I
it is.
played
Yeah,
the demo as well.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's basically Bloodborne in style a bit, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
I did read that someone modded the game to make it even more
y-
Bloodborne.
yeah, I saw that too.
So
Someone modded in the model, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it does have some unique things. Like you can combine. Oh yeah, my weapon's broken here, which I didn't know that was a mechanic. You have to keep sharpening your blade,
Oh,
otherwise it breaks, and it doesn't do any damage after that.
right.
But yeah, you can like combine hefts, or what is it, hefts and blades. I didn't even like
Mhm.
dive into that in the demo. I played for a big chunk. I finished the first big boss, and I played a little bit more. But there is actually quite a lot to the demo, which I liked.
Right.
So you can really test it out a bit and play around
Mhm.
with the different things and stuff and the mechanics.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it. I had to, of course, I died a lot in the beginning. You know, I just had to get. I haven't played Souls-like in a long time, so it was kind of getting used to the rhythm again of how do I play these kind of games, dodging, timing, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like it. Really cool.
Yeah.
And I think a
Nice.
lot of Souls fans are going to be happy to play another Souls game until FromSoft brings out their next one.
Mhm.
So
Gonna
yeah,
be a while probably.
yeah, probably.
First we got
And
Armored Core
then
coming.
yeah,
Which
let's see.
apparently
I
took
think
a lot of inspirations from Dark Souls, especially with the Dutch mechanics.
yeah, exactly.
There was a there was a preview event during the Summerfest,
Mhm.
and they played it there, and a lot of people were getting
Right.
some Dark Souls vibe, especially when it came
Right.
to the combat.
Yeah,
So it's sort of a Souls-like, I guess.
yeah, yeah, very much so.
Mm.
Yeah, you mean there's the bonfire basically. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't do the bonfire because there were enemies. So I was
Mm.
like, oh, I made it, and then these guys came up. Thankfully, I killed them, but
Ooh,
that's another thing. Like,
that was
you can,
close.
yeah, you can get attacked while getting to the bonfire, and then
Hmm.
yeah, this is where you level up and use storage. You can store your weapons that you find and stuff there
Yeah.
too. So there is like a lot more to it in terms of uh, like weapons and tools you can use.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's it's pretty cool.
The setting is what interested me most.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
automatons, that's just awesome.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
great. I love that sort of twisted fairy tale stuff. It's
Mhm.
and of course it has a very cool like steampunkish
Yeah.
vibe aesthetic.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, the level design is very Souls. You know, routes to the streets, and you climb up rooftops, and that creates
Mhm.
a whole loop back to the other point, and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's very. There's even like a sort of like a boss fog in here. So yeah, it's very very recognizable in that way.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I played that. Let's see. Was there anything I played that day? I don't think so. No. The next day, I played some more demos. I played a little game called Odin Fall, which is basically
Hmm.
a cross between. Oh, damn! Now, of course, I'm gonna blank on the name.
Of course.
Uh, it's a roguelite by the Dutch guy, the Dutch company.
Oh. Yeah.
Nuclear Throne. Sorry, that's it. Now I got it. It's a
Right.
mix between Nuclear Throne and Enter the Gungeon, I would say. Like a
Right.
little bit
Right.
of a
Right.
mix
Right. Right.
between
Right.
it.
Okay.
Especially in art style and level design, it's a lot like Enter the Gungeon. You can see here, like the desert environment seems a lot alike. But yeah, it's like it's like your bullet hell roguelike game. So
Hmm.
you find weapons in crates. You can upgrade your weapons. There's upgrades for weapons, upgrades for melee weapons, etc. And basically, you go around small levels, kill all the things, and then you go to a teleport to the next level. And then there's like an overworld map in this, so that's a little different,
Mhm.
which has like a sort of, what is it, a barrier that moves up. So there's routes going all over the place, but sometimes the barrier will move past a certain level, so you can't play that level anymore, or it's dangerous to do that or something.
Yeah, so you can't go back
Yeah,
at
exactly.
a certain point. Nice.
Yeah, but it's because the map is like the map is horizontal basically, and then that thing goes up, so it's kind of not sure if I can find it somewhere. I don't think so. Probably here. There it is. So you have the water line on the bottom here, and that goes up after each level you play. And then I don't know. I'm not sure actually what it does now that I think about it. But I knew I had to like pick another level that was not in the water. That's all I know.
Right.
But yeah, it's fun. It's one of those it's a well-made game. It's fluid. It's has a nice art style, cute designs and animations, and it's nice. But yeah, it's very inspired by the games that it looks like. So
yeah, definitely Enter the Gungeon vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, I played Bread and Fred for a very short time because I got a little frustrated.
It's adorable.
Because it's an adorable game, but it's basically a little bit like getting over it. Of course, the game was made to be played in co-op. Actually.
Oh, you should have told me. I would have joined you.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to take a quick peek at it.
No, I get it.
But if you play it in solo, you throw a brick around instead of like another person, which is also kind of funny in its own way. But yeah, I had to like really get used to mechanics because there's the jump that I have to do after this to the right here. I didn't know how to do it. Like I had no idea. I hadn't watched any gameplay clips.
This looks like Jump King. This looks frustrating as heck.
Yes. That's why I said I played it for a little while because I was like, okay, it's a demo. I'm not going to waste my time on a demo of a game like this. If I play this, I have to play the full version. So if I get somewhere, it means something.
Yeah.
Because you have to time your throws and your own jump. So you throw it, and then you have to jump to propel yourself. And so eventually I learned you had to time that perfectly. So you can like get that momentum of the rope pulling you behind the rock and get to the other side. But it took me a while. So I eventually I figured it out. But you have to do, of course, when you fall back down, you have to do it again. So I got frustrated and I stopped playing. And I thought, yeah, this is not worth it right now.
No.
So I stopped that, and then let's see what I played next. Oh, there's a lot of black here. I played there's one level demo of this boomer shooter called Slayer X, and then very long.
It's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's from the creator of Hypnospace Outlaw, which is really funny.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, this is your very 90s FPS game. Very dirty design look. Like everything's like mixed with like photograph elements and hand-drawn elements. It's like this very dirty. Like a lot of 90s FPS games had that, where it was like this very small studio and they didn't do art very well, but they did know how to do a 3D engine. So you had these weird kind of FPS games with weird art styles that just look off and weird, and that's basically what this is. It's a very like the theme of the game is like if a young kid designed a video game, and he's the hero himself, and he has a very cool blade. It's like all that I am so cool kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
And
it's great.
It's just it's with over the top names for things, and it's just it's like one big joke basically.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's one
you
big
put
joke.
glass shards, not glass shards, but shards. Yeah.
Exactly. The
That
glass
kind of
shards
humor.
are ammo for your shotgun type weapon. Which is actually, I thought that was a kind of neat mechanic. You break the glass windows and then you have ammo, which is kind of funny. Oh yeah, the audio balancing was a little weird though. I had to find like a right balance for music, sound effects, and his voice of the main character, just to make it sound like I had like a good balance. But Yeah, so that's a little thing. But yeah, there's basically one level you play, and then the demo's over. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna play the full version. It's silly and funny, but I don't know if I can take that style for like a whole game.
Might be a bit too much.
Yeah, it might be a bit too much. So I played that, and let's see. Oh yeah, of course I played this game. It's actually a funny story because this is one of those rare times where I get a random Twitter follower who was the developer of this game.
Yeah, he also follows the podcast.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
and I thought, why not? Let me try. I thought it was kind of self-promoting him, but I was like, he seems alright. He follows the podcast. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try his game. So what it is another Vampire Survivors clone.
Oh,
But this
cool.
time it's a sci-fi themed one.
Mhm.
And it's basically, I think it's one dev. I think it's a very small team.
What's the name?
The game name is what is it called? Survivors of the Dawn.
Ah,
Yeah.
got it.
But yeah, this is very much a game that's in development. He wants like feedback and all that stuff. It misses a few things, like it doesn't have controller support. So you have to play with mouse and keyboard.
As far as I know, he develops this game on his own, and he only started game development about 3 years ago. Like in a total,
Yeah.
this is his first project ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
Now that I think about that. But yeah, so and there's also what you normally expect in a game like this is there's no auto aiming, so you have to always manually aim. But yeah, that stuff probably gets added later. There's just it's a test version. It's just there's there's one mode you can play. It's just a standard sort of endless mode. And you have all the basic stuff, the upgrades that you get, and yeah, it's just another Survivors thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I played this week. So
Nice.
Fun stuff.
It looks nice. Yeah.
So Vash, what did you play this week?
Well, I said I didn't have a lot to talk about, but I just remembered that I did play a certain demo. But I mostly played Gotham Knights, which is kind of fun. I will elaborate on that a little more when I finished it.
So how
but
long did it take you to get accustomed to the new fight mechanics?
not
Because-
much actually. No, but I have to admit that with most games, I don't have an issue when it comes to controls and mechanics. So I just never that good at them. So
Okay. And you don't have a feeling like the actual battles take too long, because that's kind of what I stumbled upon. And
yeah, I get that. It feels like that at first, but I think I overleveled at some point, so it's not that hard anymore. It doesn't take that
Okay.
long anymore, but it's still challenging. So but yeah, I've upgraded my gear a lot, and I do kind of like it. So it's not perfect, like you said. Enemies can attack you off screen, so that can be kind of annoying. There are some that do show up in your screen, but it's still not easy in that regard. With Batman, with the Arkham games, it was just easier to see where they were coming from, and you had to and I had a bit more time to respond, to counter. So that's not the case with this game. There's some issues with it, but I like to drive around a lot, and I also unlocked all the traveling modes for them. So
Okay.
that's yeah.
So how did you
I
like that?
the
I
different-
didn't like that either. Like, you have to look for the drones, and then the drones basically do a circle, and if you just missed the landing pad,
Yeah,
you have to wait for like a good minute or two before they
Yeah.
actually land again, which is terrible.
that was kind of annoying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of annoying. Yeah, but I did all of them. So, but the thing I had issues with Nightwing,
Okay.
with his travel upgrade. He has like a flying trapeze. So he just hooks on. He just grabs a trapeze that is sort of like a kite,
Mhm.
and he
Right.
hangs beneath it. And at first, I was like, why is this thing going down constantly? So like real fast. Turns out I had to let go of the forward button of the forward on joystick on the on the joysticks, because then it would go down. If I pulled back, it would go up.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so like
okay,
playing
yeah,
controls. Like, okay.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Mm.
And I didn't realize that for a long time, so that was got really frustrating.
Fair enough.
So yeah, but when I figured that out, I was like, oh, how could I be so dumb? So yeah,
Okay.
that's me. But I do kind of like it so far. Yeah, story is pretty good actually. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't mind the story. It was like
Mhm.
just a few gameplay things. I think they did it better in Arkham Knights. And also, maybe my game was a little bit too tanky and my fights took a little bit too long because I played the game on hard. So that might be
Oh,
the issue, that they just
yeah,
basically become damaged sponges.
yeah.
So
No, I
that
get
might have
that.
been it.
Yeah, and I do have to admit, I do kind of feel that this game is a lot more fun when playing with two players.
It
So
probably is, yeah.
yeah, so
But I've been
I do
dodging
want
that
to try
bullet.
that. I know, I know, I know. So
You're way ahead of me though by now.
I know I could start a new game, of course. So that's fine.
Okay.
But another thing that I do kind of want to talk about because I really enjoyed playing the demo is called I Am Future,
You are
and there's a
Hmm.
trailer.
Oh, I think
Yes.
I remember this.
Yeah, it's a survival game, but it's yeah they themselves claim it's quite cozy.
A cozy survival game.
It's a cozy survival game, and it
It
kind of
looks
is.
happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There are you can die. You can you know there's a food meter you have to look a hunger meter that you have to look out for. But the overall vibe is just really relaxing.
Yeah.
So and of course yeah, as you see in the trailer, you can use robot companions. The demo doesn't allow you to go that far, unfortunately.
Mm.
Um, but what I played of the demo, it was a lot of fun. There's some intrigue in there with the story and where you're actually from, because of course, the main character has amnesia at the start.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's funny. I,
Yeah.
I like it. There's challenge. The biggest challenge is getting enough stuff to upgrade your gear. But it helps that you can fish and you can get scrap metal and plastic that way. So those
Okay.
are the basic components that you need to upgrade your stuff. And there are worms, caterpillars, more like
Philippines?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, caterpillars. What the hell? Caterpillars that
Interpret.
appeared at night, and
Oh,
they can form like branches or yeah, sort of weird things. And I can't deal with the big flowers where they come from yet. But yeah, it's a basic. It's kind of basic survival, but there's also other stuff in there like the companions that you can set out to do the work for you, so you can explore more. And yeah, there's also a drone you can send out to find other stuff, getting you even more resources. And yeah, you can really set up your own base, and I really liked it. I like the laid back vibe.
yeah, and it all
Yeah,
takes place on rooftops,
yeah, on rooftops. Yeah,
which is kind of interesting. Like
yeah.
that's a cool concept. That's a
Hmm.
good place to do
Yep.
your
Yeah,
survivaling. Yeah.
yeah. Because the main character, he put himself into a cryopod, and in the 6 years and 6 months and 6 days that they were in the cryopod, a meteorite appeared and messed up the Earth's gravity, so everything
Okay.
has flooded.
Oh, that's
So the
why. Yeah.
entire Earth is flooded, and that means that yeah, you have to survive on rooftops. Yeah.
It's a tiny build game.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's a tiny build game. Yeah,
Interesting.
tiny build published game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Alex,
also
we need to
watched.
talk.
Yeah, you really do. You really do need to talk with Alex. Um, but yeah, I mean, the game is a lot of fun for me. I really liked it.
Mm.
So there's some farming in there. There's in the trailer you can also see that they are taking apart equipment or old tech that doesn't work anymore, like a microwave or a water heater, that sort of stuff. So yeah, you have to really take them apart by screwing things out, and then you can disassemble them by
manually, yeah.
parts. Yeah, manually.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Cool
Yeah,
stuff. So
that breaks up
how long is the demo?
Oh, I'm not sure. I put in a couple of hours.
Okay.
I think I played it twice. So I played 2.5 hours. No, I didn't
Yeah.
play twice. I played it once, but I missed some stuff and I wanted to get all the other stuff. So,
Okay. Do you know
yeah.
when it comes out?
Ooh, when was it? No, not at the top of my head at the moment.
Okay. But it's not out yet. It's just the demo right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, August 8th. There we go.
It's in the
in
trailer. I
it's
knew it
in the
was saying
trailer.
it in the trailer. So August 8th. Yeah.
Thank you, trailer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
So that's still
Looks like a
almost
lot of fun.
month away.
Very chill.
Yeah, it's very chill. Yeah.
Okay.
I love my chill games at times.
You do.
So, So, and what have you been playing, Benjiro?
So, well, I've been away from the podcast for the last 2 episodes.
3 weeks?
So, yeah, this is, I'm back on week number 3. So, I played a lot of Diablo 4. Obviously, Diablo launched last week. And I definitely played a lot of that. Well, I'm saying I played a lot of it, but it doesn't feel like I played a lot. Like, my character right now is close to level 40. But I'm still in Act 1, and basically I'm even still behind on beta content. Stuff you could do in the beta, I'm just started doing today. So the game is actually huge. I'm just going through every dungeon because every single dungeon actually gives you a boon that you can use across your entire account. So sometimes it's a buff for your barbarian. The other times it's actually for a character you're currently using. I'm playing a sorcerer, which I'm playing by myself, and I'm playing a druid when I'm playing it co-op with my wife.
I really liked the druid when I played in the beta.
The druid's kind of cool. You turn into at least I turn into a werewolf, and I have some wolf companions, so that's kind of cool. I'm enjoying that. I also really am enjoying the wizard though. I'm playing basically a shock wizard, so there's a lot of lightning going on, and I pop down some hydras. So it's a lot of fun. It does feel very same-ish. Like basically every dungeon kind of starts feeling the same after about I think 40 hours. But that might be because I keep sidetracking myself in Act 1. So I might want to move on to the other act. So I started doing some more story stuff.
You are very good at that.
I'm very good at trying to complete a map, and I don't think this is the type of game where you should be doing that. And you should just progress with the story quite a bit, and maybe just pick up those dungeons, on a different character or later on. So everything just scales with you, so it doesn't really matter. Like I see people who are level 15 running, in the same area I am, but everything for me is close to level 40, and everything for them is, on par with their level. So it doesn't really matter what your level is, because everything just scales accordingly. I am having a lot of fun with it, though. It's definitely still a fun game.
Yeah.
And the other game I've been playing has been Street Fighter 6. So I always kind of was big into fighting games, and I only kind of diminished over the last couple of years. But I'm still playing Street Fighter 6. Having a lot of fun with the actual campaign mode, where you create your own character and you go to these different masters, which are the iconic Street Fighter characters. And you'll learn their moves, and you can mix and match them, and you can actually fight with your own character in a different mode. There are some daily stuff that you can do. Doesn't really feel that mandatory, but they do want to keep you engaged. The new fighting mechanics are really cool.
Because there's
there's a drive
mode
gauge
and the modern mode, right?
Yeah, well, that's just in regarding of control scheme. So you can either use the 6-button control scheme, which is basically the standard way or the classic way we always played Street Fighter. So you have your low punch, medium punch, high punch, and the same goes for kicks. But now you also have a 4-button control scheme, and it will automatically match some combos. You can basically do your moves easier because your moves are either like forward square would be a move, and or triangle, by the way, and backwards triangle would be a move, down triangle. So you can actually just map four actions that way, and it would be way easier to actually do those. But stuff they did change is your drive gauge, like what you see Chun-Li do right now. Will be able to do that move. You have an additional bar underneath your health, and you will be able to do that move, and it will take you either 2 or 3 hits to stagger out of that. So what you see is that basically people start doing that the second the match starts. They start using stuff like that. So it really threw off it's really throwing off the mechanic. The only thing that stops it instantaneously is a throw.
Right. So they tried to make throws more important.
Yes. So throws are more important. Spacing is more important. It's a lot of fun. The story mode is definitely one to check out. So if you ever feel like playing that, it's a good game.
Yeah, because the story mode is in the city, right? It's like you walk around in the city.
It's basically just an RPG. It's you're leveling. You can fight anybody in the city. Literally, the guy that you're buying your health items from, you can fight him, and he would be like level 4. Or and if you the first time you meet a stall vendor like that, he's level 4 and you're going to be level 2. So you will be gaining levels accordingly. There are random encounters with bandits that are going around the city. You can basically fight pretty much everybody, and you would earn money. You would be able to buy new apparels, which also have stats increase for your characters. So it's basically like a mini fighting RPG, which is really cool, and it approximately takes 20 hours to finish. So the story mode is quite extensive.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds
so the final game I've played, and I only played this last night, was the Final Fantasy 16 gameplay demo. So so I'm really enjoying this game. This is not my gameplay. Gameplay is provided by MK Ice. Just small so small shout out because I'm using his footage. But the game is really good. It's very epic.
It looks good too.
It looks fantastic. So what basically happens is you go back in time after a bit. But you're starting out with this war, and then Titan will fight Shiva, and that will happen while you're running towards the battlefield. There's a lot of blood in there. It's definitely not a Final Fantasy game you're gonna want to play around your kids.
A lot of mature stuff in there.
There's a lot of mature stuff in there. One of your friends will actually get hit by get smashed into a million pieces by a boulder. People die. Yeah. They definitely took a lot of inspiration from Game of Thrones. You can also hear it in the dialogue. The characters are, they all play their own political games, and that is very apparent. They're smoking, and they're basically there's sex in there. They're cursing now. So it's definitely a mature Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I know that the way they talk is basically the same as the old school Final Fantasy Tactics games. At least the original Final Fantasy Tactics. There's always this sort of...
doesn't feel that, no.
Way.
I don't agree. I think the old school Final Fantasy the Final Fantasy Tactics is very much like Final Fantasy 14. The way they talk, like Old English.
Right.
This isn't Old English.
Oh, okay.
They literally say fuck. And they don't do that in Old English. So it's
not entirely true, but
well, no, not in that context. They don't use it as a cuss. But so this is the Shiva part.
Right.
So basically what happens is that people are chosen to inhabit the icons. So that's what happens in this world. And every nation has at least one icon. So the nation you're part of actually has the Phoenix, and then there's this nation that has Titan, and another nation that has Shiva. So they're basically semi-gods, and
Right.
those people they are able to just change into these icons, or actually the icons will be channeled through them because they are their own identity. It's not like they're turning on their own superpowers and it's still them,
No.
but it's like a symbiotic kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So after you had your future thing, you go back into the past, and that's where you meet your family. You're part of a royal family. Your mom really doesn't like you because you don't bear the mark, so you're the firstborn to the king, and you're not able to become the Phoenix. It's your little brother, so you're basically junk to them. Your mom really doesn't like you. You're the disgrace to the family, and you just got thrown into soldierhood, and you're gonna need to protect your little brother. You're his shield to protect him. Marco just tuned out because I'm spoiling the game for her. She didn't want to see this demo, so I had to play it upstairs in this hot room because she didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
So that's why she's tuning out. So this is where they basically teach you combat, and combat is very fluent, but it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy. It feels like an action game. It definitely does. So there's you use square to attack, and you basically can do 4 attacks in a row. You can do your iconic feat, which is just a dash. So you dash towards your enemies, and then you can either use magic, which is with triangle, or use square, which is just an attack. So that's how you close in on your enemies. It's very much. It doesn't feel like an RPG. You do, at least the combat doesn't. It's very much based on precision dodging. It's based on countering your enemies. You can stagger them, and then you can use bigger attacks. And obviously, when they're staggered, they actually get more damage. So that is based. This is the mother that actually hates you. And it's a lot of fun. So it all ends in quite a spectacle. Stuff goes down, shit hits the fan, and you get to fight a few bosses. So first you fight this Gygas, which is a giant goblin, which isn't that bad. You just need to make sure you're dodging at the right time. But at the end of the demo, you're actually let's see where. He already moved past it. So, yeah. So you have an actual Akon fight. So you're Phoenix right here, and you're fighting Ifrit, and that is that's just crazy. It looks really good. You're fighting Ifrit here. It does take a long time. At some point, I got a little bit bored. Like, okay, does anything else happen? Because all you do is just shoot at Ifrit, and then you dodge him, and that's all you do. It looks fancy, but it's not the greatest gameplay.
It's not very in depth.
It's not very in depth. Story-wise, it absolutely.
Like Panzer Dragoon.
It was absolutely great. Yeah, it's definitely on rails. Like, you're not controlling where the bird goes. You're just controlling where to shoot, and you're just controlling when to dodge.
As far as wraths kind of stuff.
So the other thing that I noticed, and that's the final thing I will say about Final Fantasy, it's coming out in 2 weeks, so I'll be talking more about it by then. But it doesn't look like it's an open world. It looks very much, and I'm actually enjoying that. It looks very much like it's set to follow a story, a very specific story. Basically, you go to stages. You have an overworld map, and that overworld map just has icons on it. Very much akin to the Dragon Age games. So you just have an icon showing the location where you gotta go, and then you go to that location, and it's basically just a small, well, not exactly small, but a combined experience.
Yeah, sort of like Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, so it doesn't have a expansive overworld where you have to walk from location to location. It's basically just a map. Which is fine to me. Like, I don't need, because like I just said about Diablo, I get sidetracked easily, and this felt like a very streamlined experience where I was actually just following a story. And the story so far, it seemed really good. The writing is good. The English voice acting is actually good. I did sometimes with Final Fantasy games like Stranger of Paradise, I actually felt the Japanese voice acting was great, and the English voice acting was very cheesy. I didn't get that feeling with this game. So, looking forward to play more.
Nice.
Yeah, I heard a
the-
lot of positive
Yeah,
things about this demo.
Yeah.
So everybody
It-
seems to be really happy with it.
it's absolutely fantastic. So there
Yep.
is another thing we can show, but I'm not sure Mets wants. Mets did a cooking stream.
Oh no, I made a cooking video. It was a request for someone.
Okay.
Just as a funny. It was basically like, I want to see you cook, and I was like, oh sure, I'll make a little video. And no, don't share it on stream, please.
No worry, we're not on.
Yeah, no,
we're not on.
it's just a funny video where I cook terribly, and I put some little memes in.
Right.
It's a little thingy that I made. It's one of those little projects that I thought, okay, I'm just gonna film myself making
You're
something.
sure we're not gonna put the screen on because it actually looks good. I like the way you're filming this.
It's funny. Yeah, you should definitely watch it and like the video if you're.
Of course, there's an
watching this.
Ainsley.
You don't get me some likes.
Of course, there's an Ainsley reference.
Yeah. It's just it's one of those little things where I thought, okay, I'm just gonna string some clips together and that's it. But then of course it turned into a project because I'm one of those guys that, oh, I want to do a joke here. Oh, I want to do another joke here, and then oh, the framing is off. Let me perfect this, and then I'm just like making this a whole thing. So same thing happened with the Japan thing I did, which turned into months of work.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's just a funny little thing, but it's not game related. So,
but it's cool. It's something you did though. It's cool.
It's something I did. Sometimes I have these little creative things that I want to get out my system. From Final Fantasy to cooking to
Xbox.
To Xbox. I guess we should. Yeah, we should start, right?
We should
Because
really
we have a
start.
lot
Oh, for
of-
sure. We need
to
to go to the showcase.
That one was quite long.
It
Yes,
was.
as well.
Let's go to the one with screen. There we go.
Yep.
Is that free
All right.
audio? Seems still okay. It is.
I pause it for now.
Okay.
So,
Let me take a look at the doc. So let's go around the room first. What did you guys think of the presentation as a whole?
from Xbox,
Really good. Xbox
was good.
really good. Yeah.
it was very well done.
Of
It
course, they
was.
did start off with a few CG only trailers or
They
like
say it's in
cinematic. Yeah. It's in game, but it's
in-game
still
engine.
a cinematic.
It's still cinematic. Yeah.
But yeah, so they start off with a few of those, but it was still, we got to see Fable. We got to see some of those games that we've been waiting for. Like we discussed before, they had to show off this time, and they did.
Yeah.
And
I
with
just
a lot of, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
What I liked most, overall, is that there was a lot of new franchises, and it wasn't like a lot of sequels. Like there was new like studios they acquired did new things, which I like really, like South of Midnight.
Yeah. South of Midnight was new.
And of course the studio Exile.
In Exile. But that's at the end.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But I mean, just like a central point that there was new stuff. There were new franchises. Like, what is this? Like, not it's the expected sequel that we were waiting for or anything.
There was just one problem for me with this showcase. I love the showcase in general, but everything is 2024. It feels like Xbox is always 1 year away from greatness, and that's kind of what they're always showing. Like, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna have all these wonderful games down the road.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping they had a little bit more showing for this year. But then they showed Starfield later on, and that kind of relieved me a little.
It's kind of a big schedule filler game.
Like for sure. But it felt like everything was 2024, and I don't know.
It was. 2 games weren't. Those might come after 2024. So we'll see.
Fable's one of them, but and let's not discount Forza. Forza's also still coming this year.
Oh yeah, that's.
But
true.
it started off with something called Fable. So we had a CGI trailer for
Yes.
Fable.
Well, it's kind of CGI. It's still in game.
well-
It's using the engine, but
It's all CGI technically,
Yeah,
computer
yeah.
graphics, and so.
Mhm.
But
It was
yeah,
pre-rendered
it's,
for sure.
Pre-rendered.
Some of
I-
it was.
It was real
No,
time, but it was
real time.
cutscenes.
But yeah, it was.
But it was like
cutscenes.
it was
Now
basically
that's-
what I analyzed it a bit as well. Like you can see that
Mhm.
it's not as beautiful as pre-rendered
No.
could be, right? You
No.
can see it from the
But it's
teeth
still
of this
really
guy,
good.
and it looks really
Mhm.
good. But it is all in-game assets, and there's even like, of course, the developers had to like confirm things like that.
Mhm.
That these are just in-game graphics, only not from a player point of view.
Yeah.
But those were all combat animations that you'll get in the game,
Mhm.
just taken from a cinematic point of view.
Yeah.
Also with this whole scene with this giant, is gonna be probably a gameplay segment where you have to sneak around him, and
Yeah, you
if he finds
actually.
you, he'll try to get you and stuff.
I
So,
feel like you do see some gameplay when he tries to get you. You actually see your
Mhm.
character running and jumping
Yeah.
and trying to
Yeah.
get out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, and
So
you can see it too when she gets grabbed and dragged from like a board. You can see that the texture is, it's a flat texture.
Yeah.
I've been really analyzing that stuff. It's those are like little tells that it is game footage, but it was really hard to tell because it is very good looking.
It's very good looking. Yeah.
And of course, very good facial animations and stuff. Which it's just I also did the facial hair with the fur on the face and stuff.
Yep.
It's just and what I like about this is, of course, this is Jack and the Beanstalk as a fable.
Yeah.
Which I like because they're going back to the title itself, Fable, and being about fables. So I think it's going to be a little different than the original games.
Yeah. And
It's,
also, I really like that they got Richard Ayoade
for the giant
for
guy.
the giant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's funny. He's great.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
weird, but
another thing, the humor is on point.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed a lot. That was funny.
It was good for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm looking
And,
forward to this game. It's gonna be probably 2025.
Yeah,
Also,
probably.
if you have the time, watch Travel Man with Richard Ayoade. He's so funny.
Mm.
He's so funny. But yeah, next up is a new title.
Yeah.
From a new studio, I think.
Compulsion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a new studio or was that an acquired studio? Let me.
I think they were acquired, but I don't think they have done a lot. I might be wrong though. Compulsion Games.
I'm checking
Now in
the
Xbox Game
title.
Studio, so they did get acquired.
Oh, they made We Happy Few and
Oh, of course.
Contrast.
I totally forgot about
Yeah.
We Happy Few.
Yeah. And Contrast
which
as
was-
well, which was a little
Both
less.
were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did. Yeah, they were definitely an acquired studio.
But they're doing something very different.
Yeah.
With a game set in kind of have that New Orleans Bayou vibe.
Yeah, but with a fantasy twist to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the style a lot.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, people in chat were like complaining 2 FPS and 3 FPS. And I was like,
God.
no, this is a
No,
stop
that's-
motion art
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
it's like deliberate.
Mhm.
That's what I instantly recognized as well.
Yeah.
But also another giant, sort of. It's a theme.
Yeah. I think he might be like some sort of demigod or spirit or
something like that.
Because
But
the way he looks.
Yeah, gorgeous art style. I love
Yeah.
this. And I think this is also in-game cinematic, but I'm not
Mhm.
100% sure.
From what I know is that everything we've seen is in-game engine.
Yeah,
So,
they said that they would, right? Before the shows started.
Yeah.
That they would show in-game stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a great art style. And of course, we have no idea what the gameplay is going to be like. I mean, she pulls up like sort of a magical token thing, and she makes like a wire of magic thing out of it. I don't know how it works, like a string. But I guess we'll have to wait for what kind of game this is, because that's all the info we get.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really unsure
wait
what
and
kind
see.
of game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
it
looks
really
promising.
caught my attention. It caught my eye. Yeah.
We have to wait.
After that, we got
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah.
A
Yeah,
world
Outlaws.
premiere.
Yeah, the open world game that everybody was waiting for to be shown this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
I'm very
Massive,
excited.
one of my favorite studios, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
I'm always wanting to see more non-Jedi Star Wars games.
Same.
Because Jedi is always going to be like the wizards of this franchise. It's always going to be popular. But I like stuff like this. I like to going back things like Dark Forces and stuff that we had, and the X-wing games. Like going back to the
Republic
stuff
Commando.
yeah, exactly, Republic Commando games where the Jedi are not in the picture. They might they might show up eventually in the story. You never know.
Of course.
But
You're not the main
it's
focus.
yeah, you feel more vulnerable as well this way. And this underworld style is great, where you're in the nitty and gritty of Star Wars. And it's an open world game, which hasn't been done a lot in Star Wars, aside from the MMOs and stuff. So
I like that it's coming to the games as well, because we have had Mandalorian and Andor, which are great shows.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have a game, because we did get Jedi Survivor, and that and it's also really good, but you play another Jedi.
Yeah.
So going back to underpowered characters like an outlaw or a bounty hunter or whatever, that's always great. Yeah.
I also loved, of course, the one of the features is you have your ship, and you can take off in real time from the planet, and the cloud layer is sort of like your loading screen, where it transitions into space.
Yep.
Of course, that's one of those things that we're going to see a lot more now that with the SSD that the PlayStation 5 has, and SSDs in general in all the consoles, where we can just load things faster. And
I mean, we're seeing it with No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And are we seeing it with Starfield as well?
No.
No. Okay.
But this, of course, this is less than No Man's Sky is real time rendered thing, and I think in this game, in the Star Wars game, it's more like you get a loading, but it's hidden.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
It's entering and exiting the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's probably still going to be key locations where you can do that stuff. So I don't know if that also happens in reverse, where you go into an atmosphere and then load the planet surface or environment. I don't have no idea if there's going to be multiple worlds where you're going to. I guess so.
Definitely,
right?
because we'll get to that later. So hopefully this podcast episode.
Yeah.
I mean, of course,
if we keep it up, we can probably we'll come back to this when we hit the Ubisoft stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they showed
Let's
more
get
there.
to the next one. Yeah.
So we're moving on. The next one is 33 Immortals. So I hardly know anything about that.
Yeah, same here. It's very new. It is from the creators of Spiritfarer, which I really loved, which was a really good game.
Yeah.
I did also watch the extended showcase, and I did see that there were two developers of Thunder Lotus playing with Phil Spencer.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Phil wasn't that great.
No, he was like jumping in with no knowledge of the game.
Of course. So, but it looked really interesting. Yeah, there's like 33 random people thrown together, unless you made a team, and then you have to survive with each other and fight enemies. And it does look interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting idea to have 33 players. I wonder if it's like if there's like a gameplay element attached to that, because otherwise it's just a lot of players doing the same thing. I guess it's just like a big a MMO kind of raid feeling to it, where you're like a whole big group of people trying to defeat a certain group of enemies or a boss or whatever. So, but yeah, we don't know much other than that. We saw a little bit of gameplay.
Well, it
does sound like it's a raid game.
It's a raid game for sure. So you're gonna need your friends to defeat the bosses.
Yeah. But yeah, very interesting from going from Spiritfarer to a game like this.
Yeah.
But
so it's all co-op, so that's important. No fighting against each other.
Yeah.
Taking on mobs and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's I like the style as well.
Yeah.
It's a very very different art style compared to Spiritfarer. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't. Do you guys know anything about the progression of this game? Like the progression, what do you do? Do you level up, or is this just challenge upon challenge? I'm not
I
sure.
didn't really pay that much attention to the extended showcase, so
I didn't see the extended ones.
no.
No. But
So
yeah,
yeah, that's it's an interesting title when we first saw it.
yeah, it's an interesting idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting concept. So
Coming 2024.
Yep.
mhm.
Again,
Okay, so we're
Yep.
moving on. Payday 3.
Payday 3.
It's
Yeah,
Payday.
it's Payday. What I found funny is that the trailer is very focused on the combat,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
I think
not exactly the point, right?
well, it can be the point,
Right.
but you just lose a lot of stuff when you do
Right.
that in the previous games.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the game is gonna be stealth and planning your moves with your team,
Mhm.
and unless they changed it for this game,
Could
which
be.
because this trailer is so focused on combat, I almost feel like they might have changed up the rules a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's less about planning your heist and it's more like a cops versus robbers game.
Yeah, trying to survive.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
like a different mode.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be a different mode as well.
Could be. Yeah.
But yeah, that's how they present the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This is probably also wait and see what they do with it.
I never could
yeah.
get into Payday 1 and 2, so
No, same
I'm
here.
not really interested in this one.
Yeah, I played a little
So-
bit. I liked the idea of the game
Mm-hmm.
when I played it, but it's more like when it goes wrong and you fail completely,
Oh yeah.
and then you have to start again, right?
Yeah.
That's why I always hang up on those games.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Especially when you think you're doing well and then screw up. It's frustrating.
Yeah. One mistake and everything's fucked. I mean, it does make sense, but
Yeah, of course.
know,
yeah.
it's like an action movie, or yeah, sort of like an action movie in that case.
Yeah.
Like Baby Driver.
You kind of have to like the loop.
Yeah.
So next is
What was it?
Persona 3.
Persona 3 Reload.
Oh right.
So
Yeah.
it's a
Right.
full remake
it's a
of
reload.
Persona 3.
It's called Reload, but it is a remake. Yeah.
It's a full remake. It's
Yeah.
no way
Using the
they're
Unreal
using the
Engine.
same assets.
Nope.
So
Also got different voice actors.
yeah.
So.
Unfortunately, it looks like the fast content is not in.
Nope,
And
it's not.
neither
It's
is
really
the
just the original game.
It's just the original game. It's
Not
also not the
portable
portable
and not
version.
fast. Yeah.
So that's a little bit unfortunate. It's just the original game, but still
Yeah.
we get a Persona 3 that is pretty much in line with Persona 5. In with the way the graphics work, the way the combat actually looks, the menu style, which is iconic to Persona 5, looks to be here. So bringing Persona 3 into the modern age, which is fantastic.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I love
Looking
how they
forward to
do
it.
this. They did this a few times with other titles,
Mhm.
and it's so good for game preservation.
Yeah.
They just update their older
Agreed.
titles, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even play the games, but I just love that it's happening. So I hope
know-
more studios follow.
Yeah. The funny thing is, years ago, when certain companies started to do remasters, I was like, why do we need remasters? We have the original games.
Yeah.
But now that we are so far into this era, I mean, there's really no good game preservation going on. So this helps.
Yeah. It's because
I
because
really
the older
turn around on that. Yeah.
the older
But no-
consoles are getting disconnected and replaced.
Yeah.
And then you started to realize, oh wait, yeah, I can't play the original game right now. I'd have to hook it up again.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if I could play it on my new system.
But
Yeah.
some people can't even hook them up because their current TVs don't even have AV on them anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And all dropped. So no SCART connections, just HDMI or just HDMI.
Just HDMI.
Mostly.
And HDMI converters, they usually don't work that great.
Nope.
Or you have to go expensive. That's
Yeah, very expensive. So this is a good start for them. What one thing is for sure, almost for sure, is that I can see Atlas adding that content from Fez and Portable at a later date for a certain price.
No.
They
are
do that.
so they are so adamant and fully re-releasing their games. They did the same for Persona 5. Persona 5 didn't get an update to become Persona 5 Royal.
True.
they
So we're gonna get a
re-released
newer
the game.
version, probably.
And they're going to do the same for this one. There's going to be a
Yeah.
Persona 3 Reloaded Fast Edition, and that's going to
Yeah.
have the actual
yeah.
Fast content. They're
That's
going to
kinda
do
what I
that.
wanted to
It's,
say,
it's
but
going to
yeah.
be like a few years out, but
Yeah,
they're a little
that's gonna
bit,
happen.
yeah, they're a little bit scummy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%.
I was
So
just
that's why we got
praising them.
Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah.
I mean, which is okay. I mean,
But you can
it's
play it for free on Game Pass and get
Exactly.
Fast at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That
so
might be
that's
coming
not
to
the
Game
only
Pass as
thing
well around the
that
time.
Atlas announced here.
Yep, I
There's-
don't think that's the next one, right? That's
Uh,
later.
Didn't they?
Yeah,
No, they
first
didn't.
we
Yeah,
do
okay.
get one of the big ones first. Yeah,
Yes. So
So we
Avowed.
got
Avowed.
Tell me what's that about? I mean about.
Yeah.
it's a new RPG from Obsidian, and it's set in the same world as Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
So I heard that during the extended showcase. I didn't realize that at first, but it makes sense now. Which is sort of like Skyrim, maybe, but
But
also
on a
not because
smaller
it's
scale,
smaller.
right? Yeah.
On a smaller scale, yeah. The scale you can expect is sort of like the Outer Worlds, which I also
Yeah.
really enjoyed because I really love the scale of that game and really enjoyed it. So this one, it definitely has my interest as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because the first time this game was announced,
Mhm.
if you go back and watch the announcement trailer, a lot of people noticed this, is that the original trailer was like very dark, brooding,
Yeah.
and has
Yeah.
like a very specific, like almost more like of a realistic art style.
Mhm.
And then, of course, this trailer comes out, and it's a lot different than what people
Yeah.
were expecting.
Mhm.
A lot more colorful, a lot more like, just more flashy with flashy effects.
Mhm.
And the art style, the enemies and the characters it's just a little different than
Less
a lot of people were
realistic, yeah.
expecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what the funny thing is, if you look at the official released screenshots
Mhm.
for the game, they are in the old style a little bit more, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because then I'm kind of like, why is that? Like, is it maybe is that the PC version? Is it like maybe a difference between PC and console? But that would be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah.
So that's kind of odd. Like,
Mhm.
if you watch the original screenshots for this, it does go
Yeah.
back to the more detailed, dark, realistic vibe to it.
Right.
But
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny. I think there was one post I saw on Twitter was, "Is there any story in this game?" It was really funny. Someone asked them, and then they just replied with their own studio name.
Yeah. I've seen that.
What?
Which is funny. Because like they just replied Obsidian. So yes, of course they're
I mean,
they're
it is
they're
Obsidian.
storyteller.
Duh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obsidian. So that's how they replied,
Mhm.
just by showing their own studio logo.
It's a
Like,
smart move.
You
It's
know
like-
what we
yeah.
are made of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I mean,
you know who you're talking to.
yeah. I'm also
So,
really looking
that
forward
was
to the
funny.
Outer Worlds too, but that wasn't on the showcase,
So
unfortunately.
No.
next up, something which fits like a glove, but was fairly unexpected.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it was funny. I was talking. Was it Apogee asked like a Twitter poll question, like, "What franchises would you like to see a mashup of?" And I was like,
Mhm.
I was like, "Sea of Thieves and Monkey Island."
Mhm.
It was like,
And then
I
suddenly
had to
this
go-
happened.
yeah, and suddenly this happened. This
yeah.
was, I think, this was the only announcement where I actually screamed out of my chair,
Yeah.
"Yes!"
Yeah, because I heard the music the first time. I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I got
Monkey Island.
goosebumps the second I heard the
Immediately-
music.
Immediately when I heard the first jingle,
Mhm.
and I saw somewhere in the
Yeah.
it was like, oh, of course
Yeah.
they had to, right?
Yeah.
It's it matches so perfectly.
Mhm.
Just not because Monkey Island has the same kind of style a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
So
It's same vibe. Yeah.
yeah.
But
So
I think
yeah,
we need
this
to get
was,
the crew back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's just one thing that needs to be noted is that the original creator didn't know.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
never
that's-
consulted. That's kind
Yeah.
of sorry, but he's still alive, so he should have been consulted on some stuff, in
Yeah.
my opinion. So they
They
kind
should
of
have at least
give
give him a heads up. Like,
heads up. Yeah.
dude, we're doing
him
this
know.
with the IP.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come
Yeah.
back to it and
Yeah.
give him at least some royalties. I hope for something like
Yeah.
this.
I mean,
Uh,
I think he does get royalties for the game, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It is owned by Lucas Arts, so
Yeah, and all the voice
Yeah.
actors are involved.
Yep.
Guybrush,
That's-
LeChuck,
LeChuck, yeah.
LeChuck isn't, right? Because he passed.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Does he
It's a different
sounds-
LeChuck, but he sounds very familiar.
It sounds
Yeah.
very much like the original then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
if
I
it
think
is the
Stan
same
as
one-
well.
Earl Bean is Bone. Is he died.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. He
But
passed
I'm not
away,
sure if he already
unfortunately.
recorded his lines for this. He didn't die that long ago.
Yeah, he did die in January this year.
So it might still
So
be
he
him.
passed
I'm
away
not
then.
sure.
It might be him. Yeah.
It sounded very like I recognized his voice. I thought I recognized his voice. So
No, he did do some stuff, I think. Not sure. His Wikipedia hasn't been updated yet, so it might be him. It might be someone very similar.
yeah, it's very similar then. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
fun.
Sea of Thieves. There's gonna be 3 episodes. They're gonna be I think they're gonna start releasing them at the end of June or July.
So in Return to Monkey Island, it's also not Earl Bean Bone.
Okay.
It's Jess Harnell, who's also a very good voice actor.
Hmm.
Jess Harnell did he got the blessing of Earl Bone. Bane.
So
I really don't know how to pronounce his last name. Because to us,
basically
it's Boen, and to us it's Boon. As in Dutch, we say Boon in that
might
case.
be Bowen. I don't know.
Yeah,
Bowen.
it might be Earl Bowen. That's a very good point, actually. That might be
Okay,
Earl Bowen.
we're gonna move on.
So Jess Harnell is probably the voice for this one as well, because he
Yes.
got the blessing of the original voice actor.
Anything else we want to say about Sea of Thieves: The Legend of Monkey Island?
No.
Then we're moving on. Next up is Flight Simulator 2024. To me, it feels like Flight Simulator 2020 wasn't 4 years ago. It just
it's weird, right?
it doesn't feel like it was 4 years ago. So
crazy.
when they announced a new one, I was like, "Oh, really? Are we getting a new one already?"
Yeah, at first I thought, expansion, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
but it's kind of interesting that they're adding occupations now, like
more gameplay elements.
More gameplay elements like search and rescue and firefighting and
and that's
it's
really
kind of
got me
cool.
more interested.
It might actually be really I liked Flight Simulator. I think I put but I think I only put like 10 hours in there. I liked just trying to ascend and then trying to land and usually fail at landing until I kind of nailed it a few times. So like, okay, I think I've did everything I wanted. I flew above every city I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
So it seems to be
if it's like missions stuff that you actually have here now that you can pick up stranded like a mountain rescue or stuff like that. Skydiving also kind of cool. Let's see if you can hit your skydivers. That's kind of a fun challenge.
Of course. Yeah.
But flying these giant aircrafts, which is really cool. So
the guppy.
it's gonna be on Game Pass. I'll probably check it out. But just I wasn't expecting this.
No.
The most unexpected thing though was what comes after the first trailer for this. It was the collaboration with June.
Yeah, but I think isn't that one for the original?
It's for both.
Because it says for Flight Simulator and not.
People were really mad.
Both,
people were really mad that they announced this because you can buy a lot of DLC for the original one, but apparently all DLC for the original one is transferable to 2024.
Oh, okay.
So you can take everything along. So the reason they say that it's available for Flight Simulator is because it will work in both. It doesn't matter.
Okay. It's just better graphics and that sort of stuff. So when I first saw this footage, I was, dude, that's Dune. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, wow, that was super unexpected. Yeah.
They do a few of these weird out of nowhere collabs, but yeah.
This was the most surprising one for me.
Yeah, and there's even there's a few missions to do as well. What I heard.
Yeah.
So
and
with some surprises
this one. Yeah.
As well. Like they said, of course they're gonna do the worm thing or something because
of course
there's a shot of the harvester in there. So you can expect stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Flying an ornithopter is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, they even molded it to work like it should.
Yeah.
Like if it worked, like they engineered it, that if the technology would work, that wouldn't crash itself or like break itself apart because of the vibrations.
And they had access to the original movie's design.
Yeah.
To the entire model, because they really made it a real life model of that design. So
yeah.
Okay,
So,
we're
but
moving on though.
We're moving on. Senua's Zaga's Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cinema Saga. Yeah.
So I never really played the first game. I tried it 2 times, couldn't get into it, and I quit playing it. So I wasn't really invested in this trailer. There was a lot of talking, and I get it's about doubt and mental health, and I get all that, and I can see that why this series resonates with people. It just doesn't resonate with me. So what do you guys think?
Well, it's another trailer, and this looked like a straight up cutscene. Instead of an interactive segment, which they had last time.
Yeah.
One cool thing, of course, which the original game was also, of course, heavily featured with, is the sound. If you play this trailer with the headset on, it is really cool. You can hear the voices like in different corners of your ears and stuff.
Agreed.
And of course that was also part of the first game, and they of course they use it for the second. But yeah, it was another trailer, which I hope we see a little bit more like actual gameplay. Interactive segments. I can see here that it is in game. But this might be interactive right here. So she's walking.
Still walking part in game.
There's just gonna be a lot of that, I guess, a lot of slow walking. And then of course she comes to sort of like a pool, trying to like figure out these voices. I think there's sort of like an oracle, or I didn't understand exactly what it was.
A lot of self-doubt.
It's a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah, of course.
You can
yourself,
do it. You're a failure. Things like that.
Sounds very familiar for me, to be honest. But the graphics wise, it looks really good. The effects are amazing. So I think they wanted to show off just those effects.
Well, obviously they also wanted
impressive.
to show off the facial expressions, which are really good.
100%. Really good.
So yeah, the game looks good. It just I might have to give the first one a shot, another shot, maybe.
Same.
Maybe it will land this
started
time.
to play it. I've been postponing playing that game because of my mental issues, but I am kind of interested still in playing it. There's always that thought in my head saying that I should play it now. So
I mean, I think everybody kind of got it for free at a certain point.
Oh yeah.
I think in Epic or something.
Yeah, or a Humble Bundle, or whatever.
Or Humble,
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna try the original at a certain point as well. I kind of wanna do that. I just hope that the game, that the second game is also just compelling to play, because if it's like so cutscene heavy, it kind of like removes replayability. Like it's not one of those games that you're gonna play once a few years, maybe, if at all. This could be one of those games that you play once, right?
I think it's one of those games you play once, because if it resonates with you, will take away a certain feeling, a certain experience, and you won't be able to replicate that for a second time. So it will it will definitely, if it lands with you, if it hits with you, it will probably be something you play once, because the second time will never have that same impact. But yeah, the game looks good, but there's not much else I can say about it, and I'm kind of want to speed things up a little because time. So next up is Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. It was a fantastic trailer. I'm gonna say that.
Very surprising.
Really good.
Really funny. Yeah.
Also, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth was actually just Like a Dragon 8. Just like the first Like a Dragon was actually Yakuza 7 or Like a Dragon 7. So,
well, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yeah.
They just
they're doing away with numbers, I think.
Yeah, but just for the West, because it's still called.
I know.
Like a Dragon.
Toku.
Yeah, in 8 in Japan. Yes, they didn't. So it's just for the Western release, which is dumb, but okay.
Yeah.
Especially because they changed the name to Like a Dragon because they wanted to synchronize them. They wanted to synchronize the Eastern
Yep.
and the Western name, and now they're
Mm-hmm.
ruining it again. But okay.
Yeah. Oh well.
Anyway, fantastic trailer. They didn't really show any gameplay
No,
because this is
just,
definitely it's in engine, but it's no gameplay. It's
Yeah.
just a naked Ichiban. So I'm looking forward to see more about this game. It's coming out at the end of the year, and it's going to be fun. It's not going to have a physical release in America. It might have one here, but I haven't really seen that.
Yeah. That's a weird choice, but okay.
Yeah, they decided to go digital only on this one, which makes me a little sad.
Yeah, same here.
So
it's a weird decision.
Yeah.
But because they did the same thing years ago with Yakuza 5 on the PlayStation 3, and we did get a release eventually with the remasters on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
And if they have Infinite Wealth,
yeah.
why not produce discs?
Yeah, I mean this game sells, and you know it.
It will sell. They
will
have
sell.
quite the following on Xbox nowadays because of Game Pass, and they already had a following on PlayStation.
Yeah,
and they even have a big following on PC now. So next up, another expansion to Fallout 76.
Yeah.
It's Atlantic City.
I don't care.
Don't care either.
I don't care.
If nobody has anything to say about this, then we're gonna skip over that.
No.
This is one game I
one, though.
actually liked.
Yes.
Same here.
I'm trying to get to the right.
Capcom showing off again.
We're gonna be there. So Capcom coming out of the gates with Path of the Goddess. I'm not sure. Is this game just an Xbox exclusive or is it multi-platform?
It's multi-platform. It's called Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. That's the entire title. So that will be the title in everywhere.
Okay.
So it's not just Path of the Goddess. It is Kunitsugami. I got a very... First, I thought it was a new Onimusha game because the style's quite similar. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. But from what I understand, it's a strategic RPG, action RPG. So you have sort of like Pikmin-like elements in there.
Yeah. It looked to me, it's like you can see here, like an area gets taken over by like a demonic thing.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like a whole ceremony.
Yeah.
With multiple characters that have to like cleanse this area.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. Like there's there's like a demon gate that opens, and then like a whole group of people gets has to go there and perform this ritual, because that's why there's so many flair to it as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With costumes even and stuff. So that's so cool. I like that idea a lot. It's like, whoa, that's original.
Just the art style, the way everything looks very stylized. Also fairly icky. I enjoy this. It looks so good.
Lots of yokai. I love that. It's
also a little bit of
based
Day
on
of the Dead.
Japanese,
If you're looking at the colors, it's very Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
It's, it just looks it looks
colorful.
unique.
Yeah. It's like fighting, but it's also like a dance. See, it's not just like you're just not chopping up demons. You're actually dancing, trying to cleanse it, and
you have different sorts of units with you, different sorts of professions, maybe with archers and spear people and sword people.
It might be a little bit
maybe
close to at least that's how it feels to me, to Wonderful 101. Like you're cleansing like you're cleansing these demons, and they actually become human, and they join you, and in the end you'll have multiple people in your party.
Maybe.
Yeah, that might be.
It kind of gives me that vibe.
Yeah. Other people said that it was more, like I said, Pikmin sort of vibes with that, positioning people, and it's definitely on my high on my list of keeping an eye for it. Yeah.
Go Capcom, man! They're doing so well right now.
Oh, they're doing well. Yeah, and they're bringing something new to the table for after all the remakes and stuff. So
but still, the remakes are stellar.
Still good.
And Final Fantasy, Street Fighter 6 is also a really good fighting game. It's very complete. You can play Street Fighter Puzzle League in there, man. It's nuts. So then the next up, we have Forza Motorsports. They got away with the 7, which is kind of weird, or 8, whatever. The number roll is gone.
I think it's 8, but I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah, but they removed the number roll. They thought, car lovers talking about cars.
Sort of a reboot.
It's fine. I always liked
Yeah.
Horizon better than I like the Forza Motorsports version.
More Katie.
It's more
Yeah.
well. This can play just as arcadey, but it's if I had to pick between Forza or Gran Turismo would win out. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll play it, but yeah, it's just another racing game.
Yeah.
Next up, Elder Scrolls Online Necrom. Do we want to talk about
Yeah.
that? Because it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I don't
No,
play it, and
I don't play
doesn't
it
interest me. No.
Same here.
So
Not really my kind of.
So next
I
up,
know other people really love it,
Overwatch
but
2
no, so-
update new stuff.
Yay! I'm
No.
sorry, I
Oh
can't
my
get
God.
excited about this.
So same
Yeah.
here. Apparently the co-op missions are coming out, and Hero Mastery kind of looks interesting, I guess.
But you have to pay for the PVE content now, so
You do?
which kind of makes sense. Yeah, because that co-op stuff that's coming, that they're showing in this
And
trailer.
that's the campaign.
It's like
You have to pay for
15
that, right?
Yeah, that's a campaign, so it's like €15 or something, $15.
That's kind of
So,
okay. But they
the
did
free maps.
skip it. So
So,
anyway,
They
Overwatch.
need to make money though with the story missions. So,
I
but
think
the
they're
biggest
making enough
surprise,
money with
sort of-
this crazy
Yeah.
pricing. But okay, next up.
it might actually be. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
The next up is P5T. So
Yeah,
I'm
Persona
gonna-
5 Tactica.
I'm gonna move it.
That's
so
too far.
here's P5T,
that's-
which is a Persona 5 tactics game.
I just
So
said
Persona
that.
5 has a couple of spin-offs, but one of them being
Mhm.
Persona 5 Strikers. Then you have Persona Q2, which was also a Persona 5 spin-off. And now we get a Persona 5 tactics game.
Yep.
It
With a
kind of looks
very
like
nice
fun.
look.
It looks very chibi, very fun.
Mhm.
I like tactics
Yeah.
games in general. I love Persona, and I love these Persona 5 characters, so I will definitely check that out. Very short teaser trailer, but yeah. Fun.
It's funny that it's all
It was also-
chibi, but
yeah.
the voices are very adult and
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Kinda
Because the
contrast.
story is still
Yeah.
very serious.
Yeah.
So we
But
get
yeah.
a little Starfield trailer. I'm gonna skip over that because Starfield
Yeah.
has its own little segment, so we're gonna skip
Mhm.
past that. That's fine.
Yeah.
More Starfield.
It
Okay,
looks
so
good.
now we're moved on to Jusant.
Yes.
Which is
Yeah.
a new game made by Don't Not, the people who also gave us Life is Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Um,
interesting.
It's the art style is
Mining
very
simulator.
interesting. I don't like the eyes though. I do like the little worm-like creature. That's adorable, the larva thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what this game is. It looks like there's a lot of climbing, exploration, and just
Yeah.
very colorful, stylistic.
It feels like a little bit like in like the vein of like an Ico.
Yeah.
Where you just like you're exploring together with a buddy, like this desolate, like abandoned places, and trying to get to places like with platforming and climbing. So like, even that tower kind of get that
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like that's their destination, reaching that tower.
Yeah, exactly. So that it's like giving that kind of vibes to me, which
Yeah.
I like. It's one of those games that it's gonna be like silent and you and pure gameplay for the most part.
Yeah, that's gonna be
you're
interesting.
traversing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's where it's kind of a chill game, and then with occasional
across
story
that
bits.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which is kind of
Nice.
cool because usually Don't Not games don't shut up. Like the characters
No.
are constantly talking, so
Yeah.
it would be interesting to see what they would do in a
Yeah.
game that is mostly just silent and about the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I
there's a lot
like
of,
that they're diversifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of environmental storytelling in this.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. There's a demo for it as well on Steam, which I might actually
I
try.
haven't
Yeah.
checked it yet.
Yeah, there's a demo
interesting.
for it, so you can try
Okay,
the
cool.
game out, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what part of it the game is in there, but yeah,
Wow,
Okay,
I totally
that's
missed
the
that there was a demo.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
yeah.
I have to install that.
So next up is Still Wakes the Deep, the Chinese room.
Yeah, short teaser. Not a lot of info, but it's a horror
Horror.
game on an oil rig by the creators of Machine for Pigs, Amnesia game, and
Amnesia game. Yeah.
they did some other things before that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably a lot of like story driven, hide and seek, I guess, closing doors behind you. But
Yep.
yeah, not a lot of info. Probably something with
Very
monsters from
similar
the
to
sea.
Amnesia.
Yeah, it's
Closing doors behind you and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
we're
yeah, not a lot of
moving
info on it.
on. Dungeon
Mhm.
of Hinterberg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the style.
Yeah. So another
different.
cell shaded game.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of those lately.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The Microbird. Yeah.
a lot of elements to it, like a lot of different gameplay styles.
Mm-hmm.
I saw like there's like combat and lots of other stuff.
Yep.
I'm not sure like what the overall thing is with this game, but I don't know. It's very colorful.
It's combat like
Very snowboardy
kind of
combat.
open, yeah, snowboard and you know, kind of action RPG combat.
Yeah, almost like with the ring that
A
appears,
little
almost a
Nino,
little bit Okami.
yeah, a little
I
Okami
like.
in there. I was gonna say Nino Kuni, but I meant
Yeah.
Okami. It looks very
Okami,
Okami
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks interesting. It might be fun. Who knows?
Yeah.
Time will tell.
It says it has the word dungeons mentioned, so I think it's also a dungeon crawler kind of.
Yeah, the trailer shows a few of those like this.
Yeah, there's like some
puzzle elements.
isometric puzzle elements,
Yeah.
but there's also some
Yeah.
world exploration. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Next up,
Yeah,
Cyberpunk
interesting.
2077, Phantom Liberty.
Oh, of course.
So,
Yeah.
so the only thing I want to say about this, it sucks that they keep upping the system specs.
Right.
Every time
Right.
they do an
Yeah.
update to the game,
True.
they're like, "Yeah, we're not running
True.
on these systems anymore," and it's kind of
Nope.
weird because people bought a game that they could run,
Yeah.
and some people just can't run the game anymore because they keep upping the specs. It's
Yeah.
kind of strange. It's kind of weird.
Mhm.
I actually don't like it. Just don't do that.
No.
No,
But
No.
okay, they're
it's not
doing.
a good practice.
Also, I'm not
no.
really sure. I like the enthusiasm Keanu is giving off here. It feels very forced.
Oh, I did like it.
Like, oh my
Oh
god.
yeah.
He is very enthusiastic about things.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if
No.
he still is about this though, because this kind
I
of
think it
ruined his name for a bit.
No, well, for a bit.
For a
not
bit.
much.
And then more
much.
John Wick happened and he was back on
Mhm.
top.
Of
So,
course, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a good person. But the thing is, with this game, they're also changing the gameplay a lot.
Yeah, it's
with
gonna
this
be a big update as well.
Very, very
for the
different.
game, yeah.
and I know
which
that's what CD
probably
Projekt
needed.
is known
Yeah.
for, right? They're upgrading they're updating their games and actually making them better. They did the same with The Witcher 3. When The Witcher 3 was out of the gate, it wasn't
is
really a
true.
good game. But
Yep.
with time and a lot of effort, they actually made it
Mm-hmm.
into a fantastic RPG.
Yeah. So the people who bought the game essentially bought an early access version
Yeah, without it being
Yeah.
early access.
with
So
a lot
that's
of bugs.
kind
Yeah.
of weird. But
Yeah, that's.
I might
kind
give
of-
Cyberpunk a chance at some point. We'll see.
Mhm.
Yeah, me
yeah.
too.
I'm gonna move on. City
Mhm.
Skylines 2. I was I was pleased about that, but
Yeah.
I was also not expecting it at all. Like,
no,
I-
I
I-
was. I knew about it. It was
Okay.
announced a while back already.
I've been looking
Yeah.
at the first Skyline, which is still in my Steam's library, and it's just
Mhm.
the amount of DLC just keeps growing,
Yeah.
and now I have to pay like twice the price of the actual game to play everything. So I'm happy that I get to press that reset button when part 2
Yeah.
comes out.
And the fun and the good part is, with City Skylines, you had this update for services, like public service transport and that sort of stuff, like trams.
Mhm.
They are standard in the game now. So
Yeah,
seasons as well.
I
all
think a
part
lot of
of
it
the
is
ori- of the-
actually
of the-
just
of-
in there now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it might be better to just, instead of buying the DLC, to wait until part 2 comes out and just start
Yeah,
with that.
100%. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because
But yeah, it's,
I see a lot of elements. I also watched a video from someone who made this level. I think it was I don't remember the name, but they made this the level for the demo, and they really were a big fan of all the stuff that is now part of the main game instead of just all the DLC.
Mm.
So yeah, like
So, yeah,
like I said,
the-
seasons,
this-
nighttime, that's all DLC that you can buy for the original game,
Yeah.
and now it's just part of the main game. So yay.
It's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to trying this one out,
Same.
and happy to see a second part of this game. I know they dethroned SimCity like
Oh,
a
a long
while
time
back,
ago.
and
Yeah.
we haven't seen a SimCity since, and I think it's good that we still have.
It's probably for the better. Yeah.
Well, I actually liked the latest
True.
SimCity, but this just it one-upped it for sure. Next up, we have Metaphor.
Yeah,
Re
very
Fantasia.
surprising. Yep, a very surprising new game from the
Completely new
Persona
game.
people.
Yeah.
Yep, or at least from the Persona designer.
Yeah.
So it looks very Persona-like.
It's which
But it's
is a
more fantasy
thing
world.
with the P Studios, right? That they always basically create the same game.
Yeah,
but with a different
It
story.
just has a different story, but it always has the same type of monsters in there. They're kind of connected in that way.
yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
the monsters are all part of the Shin Megami Tensei universe.
Yeah,
So,
like you have Jack Frost and a bunch of others.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks okay to me. I think the character looks very Fire Emblem-y, but okay.
Yeah,
that might be me.
it's a mix between Fire Emblem and Persona, sort of.
But
with this
we'll see we'll see how it goes. It's very hit and miss for me. Like I love their Persona franchise. I don't really like their Shin Megami Tensei franchise. It's just not as much fun. Then they have what was that? Soul Hackers, which is kind of okay. So they have a lot of different franchises that kind of are the same thing, but slight variance on that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this is, but it's kind of a hit and miss studio. I'm very trustworthy of everything Persona related, but if it's something else like Metaphor, for example, I'm a little on the fence about that.
All right, that's understandable.
Yeah.
The fun part is I just today read that the Persona 5 Royal team is not really behind this game, only the original designer. But the Persona 5 Royal team was placed on Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah, but they're also still working on 6 because they announced that a while back too. That they're working on it, but they just
was it announced or was it leaked?
No, it's announced by the studio. They announced that they were actually working on it, but they weren't ready to show anything.
Yeah.
So next up we have Clockwork Revolution, which looked a lot like
Towerborn.
Oh, sorry, I'm missing one. Yeah, Towerborn. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
But, from the creators of the Banner Saga games.
Yeah, which are really good.
Yeah, and this is
different.
Yeah, this is different, more combat oriented this time.
It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah, and there's also like a management part.
Yeah, because of the hex thing, right? Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Like, well, when you start the trailer, you actually see like a hexagon, and that looks very Civilization to me. So that's. I kind of agree with Metz there. That looks like there's some sort of management thing going on. So you actually see it zoom in now, and then you see like a hexagon, and within that hexagon, this happens.
Yeah, they did talk about this on the extended. Like I said, I wasn't really paying attention that much, but I do know that the combat is It looks very similar to Guardian Heroes, which is one of the better side-scrolling beat 'em ups. So
you can do some if you play this in co-op, you can do some really cool combos that you see here as well, where where one guy swings him up in the air and the other guy can knock him out of the air for like this juggling act. And I guess they said one thing they said is like this game was made to be fun foremost. Like every game has to be fun, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they just wanted to make something that was more direct action. And instead of like a long strategic, like a slower strategic game.
Yeah, because it looks like you take over the hexes, and then you can use that area. To expand or something. It does kind of look like that. So I'm not really that. I don't really know that much about it at the moment.
It's a little bit vague still.
Yeah.
Okay. So next up, now we do have Clockwork, which looks to me like now I lost it. BioShock. It looks like a BioShock game.
It does look like that, but I do know that the original creators in Exile Entertainment and Brian Fargo himself said that it has a lot more RPG to it. So it's not just BioShock combat. It's very deep and crunchy stat stuff. So That
They did.
really got my attention.
This is someone else actually did a shot for shot with an infinite trailer, and a lot of these
Yeah.
shots are interchangeable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because they also use automatons.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
literally, like the building of the trailer, the trailers
Mhm.
are very similar as well, like in their
Yeah.
structuring.
Mm-hmm. And there's an element of time involved,
Yep.
Yeah.
so that's also sort of similar. But it really caught my attention.
Yeah.
It,
I mean,
it looks
it's
could be fun.
it
Yeah.
feels really familiar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, lots of shooting in the trailer at least. So that's why I think a lot of people think it's straight up like BioShock,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
it's a little first-person shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if there's a lot of RPG elements, that already makes it
Yeah.
already different
mean-
if they do that. So
It's from the creators of Wasteland, one of the more chunkier RPGs.
yeah,
So you can definitely expect that.
yeah,
But
But,
yeah, I like it. I like the styling concept.
yeah,
So
it's cool to have another one of these.
yeah, another
So
Victorian age steampunk
yeah,
game.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's becoming a trend now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the new thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we know for now. So
That's all we know.
Yep.
and
So
that
moving
was
on
it, right?
to
Yeah.
no, they showed one more thing. There it is.
Oh yeah, of
It's
course.
the
Yeah.
Yes,
Xbox
yeah.
Series S. So Phil came on
Yes.
stage and they showed the new Xbox Series S 1 terabyte SSD Carbon Black
Yay.
Edition.
Yeah, it's
It
finally
was
black.
it was actually necessary because the
Mhm.
SSD on the original Series S just wasn't
Yeah, it's
cutting it.
not enough.
After the OS, you had about 300 gigs of space left.
Yeah. it was-
So if you were
yeah.
gonna play Call of Duty, like Warzone, you would literally have less than 50 gigs available to you on your
Yeah.
console after you installed that game, which is ridiculous. I agree, but it's something that happens, and that was actually really big pain. And then people had to buy the expansion card, and those cost a pretty penny as well. They're like $200 a pop. For 1 terabyte drive, and if you want to go for the 2 terabyte drive, it's even more. So
Yeah,
this
very
was
expensive.
definitely something that was necessary. Like, not everybody wants the Series X, but it definitely needed an upgrade. And for $50 more, that's actually it's okay. It was something that
Yeah.
was needed,
Oh yeah.
and they provided here, so they could have just let it go, but they didn't. And
No,
it's kind of
It's going
okay.
to replace the original S.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, yeah.
So next up, they gave us a look at Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah, a
Yes.
long look.
So I'm
Was
gonna pause on Todd's face, and I'm going to the without screen because we're gonna talk without any video for a little bit
Yeah.
about this game.
Mhm.
So first impressions is not really what we're looking for here, but what are your takeaways after you saw the presentation, Vash? Let's start with Vash.
Well, it looked good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a given. Very high tech and graphics wise. At one point, I do have an issue with, but there's a lot of systems in there. So, like a ton of systems.
Okay, so what do you
you
have an
can-
issue with? You glanced
Okay.
over it right now, but tell me.
Well, the facial animation.
Yeah. So
It hasn't been updated for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
So it looks very archaic at this moment in time, especially with the way the voice acting is done, the characters that you see up close. I mean, I'm fine with looking at characters up close. I mean, I love the Outer Worlds, for example, that did that. Fallout does the same thing when you're in conversations in a conversation with someone, but it's very static these days. So especially if the face hardly moves.
So I said this
So,
to you
yeah.
earlier in the week. It feels like you're going through a theme park.
Yeah.
And these are just automatons that
Exactly.
are staged along the ride. And
Yeah, I like automatons in some games, but
yeah, when they're
know,
meant to be automatons. In this case,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so but leaving the facial expressions behind,
Mm-hmm.
what's your general takeaway?
I mean, it's a Bethesda game. It's going to be huge. You're going to be spending a lot of hours on it if it's if that's your thing. It might be more my thing because I'm kind of gave up on the Elder Scrolls series after Morrowind and Oblivion. I didn't finish either of them because I got bored.
Yeah,
I
that's a
did.
Bethesda problem, right?
Yeah, I did finish Daggerfall. When it came out.
Yeah, but that was a long
Um,
time ago.
That was a long
Mhm.
time ago. It's a very old game, but also there, yeah, I think Daggerfall was more condensed,
Uh,
and it has
was it,
ballooned quite a lot compared with Morrowind and Oblivion got bigger and bigger, and the Skyrim got really big, and I just couldn't care anymore.
wasn't Daggerfall the biggest world
Yeah,
ever in a video game?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, to me it felt more
Maybe,
straightforward, as
yeah.
in more linear.
Maybe if you follow the main story.
Yeah,
But I do
probably.
know that it was as
Yeah.
big as England or something in
It
virtual
was
space.
huge. That's
Yeah.
true. It was huge. It didn't feel like that at the time, but yeah, it was
Mm.
huge. I do admit that, but it's more. I didn't really.
It felt more
Maybe
like a
back then.
streamlined experience.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more streamlined. There's, I mean, you have a lot of open stuff you can do, so that's pretty cool. If that's your thing, but I kind of gave up on the fantasy stuff at a certain point. So this might interest. Has more of my interest. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's some elements in there that I really enjoyed seeing. Like the combat is more. It feels better than from what I did play in Skyrim. I did play it a bit because I had an ex-girlfriend who had like 500 hours into that game. So I did try to play it a bit, but I couldn't get into it. So
Okay.
the
Thank you.
Starfield is more interesting to me because of the sci-fi setting.
Cool. So, Metzman, what's your takeaway?
My takeaway is that I came out of that presentation a lot more enthusiastic for the game than before it.
Hmm.
I immediately thought, oh, okay, this is definitely more developed than I thought and more expansive than I thought. And there was a few big highlights. They're using a new engine, and even though, yes, the animations are definitely dated, I've got a lot more trust in how the game is on a
Oh,
technical level.
yeah.
And yes, the other big highlight for me is the combat. I love my FPS games, right? So Fallout wasn't really an FPS. It had the VAT system, but it also the real-time shooting in that always felt a bit like clunky and a little bit stiff. This game ups it a lot. Like it feels like playing a shooter when you're getting in combat.
That's the way
It
it
feels
looks. Yeah.
fast, fluid. There's a lot of dynamics to it because, of course, there's different gravity levels for every planet you go, so you can play with that. There's a lot of cool tricks you can do, like what you see in the trailers is that a guy throwing a grenade in a room, closing the door,
Yeah,
that
that's
sort
pretty
of
cool.
stuff. But yeah,
Jetpacking
the
around.
combat is a big highlight for me. I love the go out there and find random stuff that they talked about a lot. And they said they have a lot of cool little Easter eggs hidden everywhere that you can find, and that they even wonder if in a few years they found them all, right? If the players found them all. So just little like funny things you can find, like things like you had in Morrowind or Oblivion, where suddenly out of nowhere there's a guy coming from the sky.
Yeah, the fanboy.
Yeah. No, not the fanboy, but there's like a wizard in Morrowind
Oh, okay.
that used a flight spell, but he got up so high that he fell from the sky and crushed himself to death. So like little random things like that you could find. I love that you can board ships and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
even
that's
in
really
that was
cool.
the
space,
coolest
right?
part.
So
Yeah.
in space, even you can find derelict ships, and maybe there's like derelict ships with like you board the ship and it's like all abandoned, so you get these kind of like alien Event Horizon kind of situations.
Yeah.
There's so many cool like getting sidetracked moments that they're planning.
And you can add every ship you board, you can add to your fleet,
yes,
which is really cool.
yeah, as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And they, I think I read somewhere that what they showed at the Direct was just like basically the first few hours of the game in terms of environments and stuff. And they
like a lot
teased
of
in the
planets.
combat part, they teased like a sort of like a force push thingy, which is probably ties into the main campaign. because your mission is to go out and find, those artifacts, and there's a whole storyline.
Right.
And I think it's going to be one of those situations where you get to a certain point in the story where things open up a lot more than we know, right?
Probably.
So
yeah.
I think there's a lot to this game that we don't know about, and that excites me that they didn't show that. They keep that under wraps. They keep that behind the curtain.
Yeah.
So that gives me a lot of hope for that there's going to be a lot more variation than we initially thought. So it made me very enthusiastic for the game. So
another thing another thing I want to point out is that from what I read, that the game will have quite a few procedural worlds, but not all of them. So there's a lot of handcrafted stuff in there as well.
The planets are procedural. The terrain is procedural, but they when you approach the planet, it'll place handcrafted things on top of the things, And of course, there's also barren planets, but the barren planets are then good for resource collection. Everything has a function to it.
And you can get companions that can look for resources for you.
It feels like it's
there's just so many things.
Yeah, it feels like it's a well-crafted universe, and they really try to make everything seem connected and nothing like an afterthought. Like you can modify your ship. You can do it any way you want. You can create mechs that way. It's ridiculous. It feels like there are so many systems there, and so many systems the player can use and utilize. And none of it feels like an afterthought, like something they just quickly threw in, but everything has been meticulously crafted to supplement your gameplay, to supplement your experience, and to give you a sense of control and awe in everything you can do, from ship combat, which includes giving power to thrusters, shields, weapons. It actually, it's not just point and shoot, which is something you usually have when a game is this expensive. Like stuff, gets thrown to the side because you don't have time to develop everything and make it feel like a complete experience. And so far, everything I've seen here makes it. They didn't do any of that. They crafted everything until it felt just right, and nothing feels like a throwaway feature or something that's just on a checklist. So I came away fairly positive. I do have to agree with you guys that the facial animation it doesn't look great. It doesn't look good at all. And like I said, it looks like the characters look like they are theme parks that belong in Disney World. Somewhere on It's a Small World after all. So something along that ride. But the fact that you can get your own crew, and my crew could be completely different than yours. With so my missions with that crew can actually be completely different. That just feels like it's gonna be its own experience.
Romance?
Yeah,
apparently
that's surprising.
Yeah, I'm not really into having to do stuff with dolls, but okay.
I understand, but for the people that played Mass Effect, that is kind of a big thing.
Yeah, so it's probably
bring them over.
Yeah.
It's probably only the main characters, probably though.
Yeah.
But,
definitely. It's not like some random generated character that you can romance.
No.
But still,
it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
The game looks good.
Yeah.
The collector's edition looks good as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm still hovering over the buy button.
just
that watch is really if just don't linger too long on that file, because it might sell out.
It's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So either go for it or cut your losses. That's basically it.
Yeah.
But it looks like a good game. I'm actually I can play this on Game Pass. I bought an Xbox Series X again. Like I sold mine a few months ago, and we rebought it because Marco wanted to play a game that she already had a lot of progress on Xbox. And I was like, okay, I'm probably going to play Starfield anyway. I can't always be at my PC.
And
so I might as well
coming out next year.
Get one. And, Xbox is just 1 year away from being great, so might as well.
Every year.
I know. So I picked it up. But I actually also pre-ordered Starfield. I just want that game physical. I don't want it
course.
just to be part of a Game Pass subscription. I actually want to own it.
Mhm.
So I already have it
I'll buy
up
it
on
at
pre-order.
yeah. I will buy an Xbox Series X next year probably, and I do want to buy Starfield as well. So
Yeah. So
yeah, but until then, I can play it in Game Pass.
yeah.
So
Then there's the
and the
lingering
controller.
question about this, and then we're gonna skip over
Mhm.
Starfield because we're hitting that 2-hour mark. So I'm not really sure
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about any of the other
Mm. We
any
can
of the
talk
showcases.
about some Ubisoft stuff real
Yeah,
quick.
we can sure.
Yeah.
But there's one more question I want to ask you guys about Starfield. How do you guys feel
Mhm.
about the 4K 30 FPS situation on console? We're
I'm
not
fine
sure
with
if
it.
it's going to be better on PC. We can assume that
They're
it
not really
will.
clear about that.
Did they? I
It
don't
might
think
be,
they
yeah.
said anything about it. Not officially, at least.
No, not officially. No,
Uh,
there's no real word about that yet.
No. So how do we feel about it? Vash just said he's fine with it. Same with me. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. It's not a competitive game. It's a story-based game, and they have a lot
Mhm.
going for it. I don't really mind 30 FPS if it's intended. But
Mhm.
I know that Metz is a very PC-focused gamer, who is used to a higher frame rate. So I'm kind of looking
Okay,
forward
well,
to
here's
hearing.
my point. Okay, so what I think, I watched the Digital Foundry video on this,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and the problem with Starfield is that it's a CPU-heavy game.
Yeah.
Because there's so many systems involved. So
Mhm.
even if you run the game at 720p on the Series X,
It
it's
was-
still
Mhm.
gonna run. It's
30.
still gonna fluctuate.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's not gonna run just on 30.
Mm.
Probably when you're in space and there's nothing much around, it's gonna go to 120. If
Right.
you're in a space station, it's going to go to 60. But
Yeah.
if you're
So
on
you
a
have to
planet,
lock
it's
it.
going to
Yeah.
go around 40 to 30. So
Yeah.
what they did is they locked it to 30.
Mhm.
They asked its software to help with their motion blur system. So
Right.
when you play on 30, it's going to look smoother than like other 30 FPS games.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
So it is 30, but
Mhm.
it's a smooth 30 and it's consistent, always
Right.
consistent.
Yeah.
And I think, of course, we would love to have it 60 on console, but I think it's gonna play fine and you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Definitely.
I play a 30 FPS game on console as well. I'll get used to it as well.
Uncharted was
Um,
a good game on 30. So
yeah, it's like
they added the
so
60 FPS later, but
so so I think for this game, it's not gonna be as jarring as a lot of people think it is.
Mhm.
And it is technically quite impressive that it runs at 30 on the Xbox if you
Yeah.
think about it.
Mhm.
On PC, I don't know. Maybe on PC it can run, of course, at higher frame rates because our hardware has advanced.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure if it's going to be consistent. It might fluctuate a lot on PC because of the CPU heavy stuff. So we don't know yet how that's going to run. Maybe it's going to run high all the time, and then that's going to be fine. So we'll just have to wait and see how this game handles it, how the engine handles it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I was a little bit iffy about why they do 30. Why didn't they do, that's my first thought was, why didn't they do a 1080p 60 mode, right? Like a
Yeah.
Mhm.
different performance mode. But apparently it's just, they tested it and it's just not possible to get
No.
a consistent frame rate for that.
Yeah. It's because of
So
all
yeah,
the systems involved then.
And let's
yes,
not forget that
and
on
the
the
different,
console,
yeah,
because they're hooked up to TV, most TVs don't have VSS, right? They don't have variable frame rate.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna have a lot of tearing if it hits that 40, and if it's gonna stay
Mhm.
there, you're gonna have constant tearing, which is terrible. It's
yeah,
because it doesn't divide by 60. So 30
Nope.
divides by 60, so 30 looks fine.
Yeah.
So let's like
But also
monitors
some
usually
severe
are
tearing,
able
yeah.
to handle that better, but that's
Mhm.
definitely not the case for TVs.
No.
yeah. So yeah, it's unfortunate that it is 30, but on the other hand, I think also another thing that Digital Foundry pointed out is that we're at the point where we're probably gonna see a lot more games running at
Running on
30.
30, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
games are getting high fidelity, more
Mhm.
complex, more better graphics. And I think this is going to be a theme where we're going to see a lot of news articles about another 30 FPS game on console.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Both on PlayStation and on Xbox. So
it's gonna start happening right around now.
Yeah.
Because Xbox actually announced this week that they stopped supporting the Xbox One. They don't have anything in development there anymore. The only thing they still support is Minecraft or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there are no new games coming to
now.
Xbox One. So no, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be for now. I'm pretty sure that they left that console behind. So
no, the Minecraft thing. That's for now.
Oh yeah,
because
that's
once
for now.
Once the user base is going to drop under a certain point,
they might, but they still
they're
support
move it
the
over.
Wii U for some reason. They supported that up until last year, so
yeah,
they're probably going to keep that up. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But did they stop creating those games? Sony also stopped moving towards the PS4 for the most part.
Yeah.
So you're going to see
Spider-Man 2 is not going to come to PS4.
You're going to see these games now that are basically just built for the current generation of systems. So yeah, we're going to see a higher level of fidelity, and with that, we're going to see a lower frame rate because these games are not built for older systems anymore, so they can't run on a higher frame rate. Nope. And some of them might still, but I think you're right that most games will go back to that 30. Okay,
totally fine.
Which is fine by me.
I just pre-ordered it, by the way, the Constellation
edition. You did?
So. Nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's for the memes. If the game's bad, it's just for the memes. It's fun to have it. It's a keeper piece.
I don't think it's gonna be bad though.
No. I have a good feeling about Starfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Bethesda games. Like I said, the Elder Scrolls stuff and Fallout is okay, but I don't think this is going to be a bad game.
Okay.
So,
Is there anything we want to talk about the PC gaming show?
Yeah, I was looking through the list.
There's quite some stuff, but I don't think we should talk about that right now. I think we should focus on the Ubisoft stuff for a bit.
Okay,
then,
so we're going to move towards the Ubisoft forward then.
Yeah, we can do the PC game stuff later. So for another,
it's going to be we can come back to some of those next week.
There was a lot of like small things in the PC gamer, like teaser trailers and not a lot of info on the big titles. So
okay, so let's start
lots
with
of Assassin's Creed stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like the pre-show, I think.
Let's
just move forward.
There's a countdown.
Oh, that's just 30
the
seconds.
clock in the top left. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so we have Just Dance. Was that the? That's not the.
That's
first
the opening. Yeah,
that's
they always do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dance opening.
Just Dance stuff. This time
we're gonna skip
Olympic
over
esports.
we're gonna skip over that. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
Okay, so this is basically Far Cry with Navis, right? That's literally that's what I feel. How I feel about it.
100%.
So Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. It's absolutely a reskinned Far Cry game.
Yeah.
It looks like fun though. I have to be honest. It looks like fun.
It's kind of. I always like the idea of going into a camp with hostiles everywhere and trying to clear it. I kind of like that, even though it's been done so many times.
Yeah, every Far Cry game.
Yeah,
but for Far Cry games, for some reason, always they kind of they're very chill. You can just go. You can just go clear out a map, and it's absolutely fine. Clearing those camps, just marking every enemy and doing it in the most in an optimal kind of way. It's very soothing for me for some reason. So I might, and this is a very colorful version of a Far Cry game.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't played the Far Cry 5.
I haven't
expansion.
played 6.
Yeah, but have you played the expansion for for Far Cry 5? Because that one is also very colorful.
The one with the drugs and the stuff and the
nuclear stuff.
I haven't seen that. No, I've played that one. I just played 5, and 5 was the last one I played. I haven't played 6 either.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but this is on an alien
quite
world.
Colorful. So yeah, I mean that's different. That is different. But I couldn't care less about Avatar. So
it's funny though that it's first person. Because the previous Avatar game that they did for the first movie was third person, I think.
It was,
And I feel like the Avatar always, I would say, feels more like it had to be a third-person game. Just your character in contrast with this beautiful world.
Yeah.
But that's why the whole Far Cry thing comes up. And yeah, of course you do have the Ikrons that you can fly around with.
This is basically a plane of Far Cry 5.
Yeah, exactly. They're more maneuverable and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's another Ubisoft thing, right? Where they pick a blueprint for one of their games.
Yeah.
And then they build a new game around it.
It's the Ubisoft template. It's all they do.
So I called it the Ubiprint in the past.
So next up, this was very forced. I really didn't like how James was talking there.
No, I've never seen James Cameron so freaking scripted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was very, very forced. So then they moved on to X Defiance.
Yeah. So this was the game that I was under NDA for a while back. So the COD-like shooter, where I already felt like I think I talked about it. It's where Ubisoft is just behind on things. But apparently, a lot of people like this game, and I think that's because I don't play a lot of COD myself. So I was immediately like, oh, I know what this is. But yeah, apparently, the Twitch streamers that played this and are like, and the COD players, the COD pros, they really like this game.
Yeah.
And I think it's because one of the things that this game did well is just having the basic mechanics of a COD-like shooter just down. So it just plays very well, right? Yeah. It's trying to ape it, but it does it well. And it's a game with all sorts of Ubisoft characters. You get the guys from Echelon in there. You get the Watchdogs. You got the Splinter Cells. You got all that stuff combined in one sort of FPS extravaganza, basically. That's the whole idea. But yeah, I personally have no interest in this because it's another arena shooter in the style of COD, but with a Ubisoft, with a Ubisoft flavor to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have not a lot to say about this. I mean, the game works. People seem to like it, but it's just not my thing.
Okay. So next up, we have Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Yeah.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah. Style is awesome.
It's, the style is awesome. It looks like a Metroidvania. You have a little bit of the Sand of Times in there with some of the timey-wimey stuff that you can pull off. Character design is fantastic.
It's a continuation of that story as well, I think. So it's set later after the Sands of Time stuff.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's not a reboot.
It's the same world. No, it's not a reboot. No.
Okay.
It's a different character. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought that I got that from this as well. Like, because it's like it does definitely switched up the style a lot, though.
Very a lot.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of discourse about it because it's a 2D game, but it just looks good to me.
I have no issues with that.
Oh no, it looks good.
I mean, that's
the original.
It's going back to the original. I think even the original was technically kind of Metroidvania-esque. It was one big map that you had to like finish the game within a certain time limit in that one. So it's going back to at least the platforming and like a big expansive Metroidvania style level design. So it's really cool, and it fits it perfectly. So So next to the Metroid and the Oris and that sort of games, those sort of games, we now have the Prince of Persia joining the party.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's very Metroidvania.
Yeah. Then they showed us Captain Laserhawk.
Yeah.
A trailer for
animated
series.
The most cringe E3 style presentation by that guy.
It's Avi Rudd. He's the producer. He is very cringy. He's it's perfect. This is perfect for him. He's good at what he does, though. So
he is very good at what he does, and also he showed passion.
Yeah.
And I actually
He doesn't
enjoyed
take
watching
himself
him more
seriously.
than the French developers that have a really
Well,
hard time
yeah.
presenting
Hard time
in
to,
general.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Next up, and this is something Vash might be able to say something about: the Division Resurgence.
Yeah, I could if I could play the game because it doesn't really run well on my old mobile phone. But I do have an interest in this at some point. I'm not a big fan of PvP content, so this is not really up my alley. But there's also PvE stuff, so when I can, I will give it a try.
Mm.
But
Okay.
I can't really say that much about it. I do love the Division, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather. They also added some new stuff to the Division too, with a sort of a dungeon roguelike element. So that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. Next up,
Mhm.
they actually showed us some Skull and Bones. It's not that in the
Mhm.
water.
Yeah, they they sang a song about it at least.
Yeah.
So
They showed us some
Yeah.
gameplay, and they actually showed us that there is going to be an open beta by the end of August.
Yeah. Was it closed or open?
I think it's open, or you could at least. I think it was open.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
let's.
that game has been in development hell for a while,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
so
Yeah.
I'm interested
So
to see what they. Oh, it's a closed beta from the 25th of
yeah.
August to the 28th, and you can
Right.
register on skullandbonegames.com. So
hmm
I might have to throw my head in the ring just to see what it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
If you
after
like Sea
that,
of Thieves.
yeah, I think it's a little. It goes a little further than just Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not really. It's more Assassin's Creed road combat with a little
Yeah,
bit of
but pretty
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah. I mean,
exploration in
I did
between.
really love Black Flag. So if it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, I think it
Um,
will be
Yeah.
sort
Then we
of.
saw some shorter games, and then we saw the slowest presentation, unfortunately, for a
Of
game that is so fast.
yeah.
No, for first we had the. It's really hard to
No, there
navigate
was some
here.
smaller
But
stuff.
we
Yeah,
had Mario and Rabbids
Mario
Sparks of
Rabbids,
Hope
Rabbids.
yeah.
actually showing Rayman. A funny
Yep.
trailer, really funny trailer. You know,
It's a
making
funny
fun
trailer.
of the limpless Rayman.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
enjoyed that. I still have that game in seal. I need to pick that one up. I finished
I
the
still
first
haven't
one.
finished the first. Yeah, I still haven't finished the first one,
I did.
so
So
I still need to do that.
and
Yeah.
after that, the Crew Motorfest. So it's
Mm-hmm.
another racing game. It looks kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all racing now. No boats, no planes.
No.
Just racing in Hawaii
Hmm.
or Honolulu.
Yeah,
Yep.
The
I was
island
have
of Honolulu. Yeah.
I think I tried one of the betas for the first game, but that
Did
was
this?
the open world stuff. And I think
Yeah.
this is this still open world then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
this
is. Okay.
feels so much like Horizon,
Mhm.
especially
Oh, yeah.
Horizon, Forza Horizon 5. You know, that one was in Mexico. They're both kind of sunny locations,
Yeah.
Mhm.
kind of tropical. It
The
really
beach
feels
and
the
stuff.
same way. So
Yeah.
it feels like they're just trying to copy Horizon now, and
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh,
I don't know.
Ubisoft copying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a
I
surprise!
mean, it is a new location because they had two games where you go through the entirety of America.
Yeah.
So this is more seems more focused. I'm not sure if the
Yeah,
map's
but
going
it
to be as
seems
huge.
so
but
much
Yeah.
just like.
But we've seen so many of these types of
Yeah.
games.
I mean, it doesn't
It's more of the
really make
same.
me want a new Motorstorm,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that's the only thing
Motorstorm.
that it kind of gave me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so next up we have Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is the VR game.
VR game. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a
They
very
showed
CG. They didn't show anything.
Yeah. Yeah, just a non-gameplay CG trailer where they pretend to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
the
so-
concept
Yeah.
is interesting. Just we don't
Yeah,
know what the
it's-
game's actually going to be like.
No.
It's
So,
probably going to give you vertigo if they make you jump down high buildings. And
They
stuff.
will.
Yeah.
They will. Yeah.
So next up, they
Um,
showed something that actually looked really interesting, which was Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
Jade, and then I realized
Yeah.
it's a
Yep.
mobile game, and then it
It's a
made
mobile
me
game.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
it's a very
it looks
pretty
good.
mobile game.
It's a very
Yeah.
pretty mobile game.
Yeah. So they have
Yeah.
several games in development. in the
Which is
Assassin's
funny,
Creed franchise.
because I remember like everybody wanting a Assassin's Creed game in like in Asia.
Yeah.
and then the one Assassin's Creed game in Asia is on the mobile.
And this is the
No,
third
there's
time.
another one.
This is
Oh,
the
yeah, there's another
third
one coming,
time
right.
they
I forgot about
actually.
that.
The Chronicles.
Yeah, and Chronicles was also in China or India.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did too.
There were
right.
three. There were three Chronicle games. One was in India, one was in China, and the other one I don't really remember.
Yeah,
So-
but still, they were all in Asia. That's where we want to play our main games, and they keep
Mhm.
putting them in side projects. It's kind of
I
annoying.
know. It's not really, because there is Assassin's Creed Red, which is set in Japan, and that's one of the one
yeah.
We
big game.
don't know anything
forgot about
about
that
it
one.
yet. We don't know
So-
anything about it. We haven't seen
Nope.
anything. We don't know anything.
No, but we know that it's coming. That it's going to be in Japan. So that's probably going to be for next year. Because
So
this year
many
we have,
Assassin's Creed.
because this year we have Assassin's Creed Mirage.
So how do we feel
coming
about
out.
Mirage?
Ugh,
I think it looks
oh my God.
archaic. It looks archaic.
Look at, they almost have like Bethesda faces. I mean,
Sort of.
it feels
Not
like a
entirely, but
downgrade.
yeah. Huh.
Like if you look at footage from, I think, what was it, Assassin's Creed?
Valhalla,
One of the
Odyssey.
older, no, one of the earlier. Yeah, I think even Valhalla looks better than this. I'm not sure. It's like it. Also, just the mechanics, how things when they show gameplay, it feels a little like clunky and like lock on and like
Mm.
more arcadey. I don't know. Maybe because they definitely want to go back to like.
They
old
went back to
Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed too.
Yeah,
That's where they went
exactly.
back to. So and
Yeah.
then that's kind of what you notice there. Like it feels like an old game.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah.
I haven't played it yet, so I don't really know. But I might enjoy it because I really like
Neither
the
have
original
we.
Assassin's Creed games. So I know, and it does kind of feel like that. But I, to be honest, I kind of like that style. So if it has better animation than the Assassin's Creed 2 games, then yeah, I might enjoy this one.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because this is like one of the big new Assassin's Creed games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
just it feels like they're going back in time. Like like the engine is like getting a little bit old now, and you can just see it in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, they're just cranking these games out so often.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what is this game gonna bring that the others don't? Like I guess
Yeah.
the story will always be unique, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We shall see.
Yeah, I
I was
stopped
never
caring
really
about the
interested,
story.
but-
That's the problem. I stopped caring about
Yeah.
the overall, the entire arc of Assassin's Creed. I stopped caring about that.
Mm-hmm.
About Abstergo and all the company
Yeah.
future stuff. I'm not even sure if it's
Yeah.
still in the game. Okay.
That's a good point. I don't really know either. I haven't played the newest ones. I haven't finished Odyssey, and I haven't played Valhalla at all.
It's just the
I do
same
know
here.
it's not present in Origins. There are some allusions, but to some stuff.
Yeah, you can
Origins
like
lost me
these-
when they did the Final Fantasy crossover.
No, there was future stuff in Origins.
Origins still had future
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we moved on to what's next? Star Wars
Last thing.
Outlaws. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the one thing I'm looking
I
forward
think that's
to
our
the most.
that's our closing ticket for
Yeah.
for
So-
today.
100%.
I already spilled some at the start of the show, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you guys take it away. You guys are way more into this game than I am.
I am way more into this than I think anyone else right now.
Yeah. I'm still a little bit skeptical.
Okay. How come?
Because like it could be really fun. I just like looking at the gameplay. I'm not sure if the player was playing for like doesn't play a lot of console games, but one of the things I noticed in the demonstration is like the character missing a lot. At least in the second part of the combat.
That's because they're playing
Um,
with a controller. That's
Yeah.
normal.
Exactly.
That's how
Yeah.
we roll in
Um,
console land.
They're not paying attention to the surroundings as well,
Yeah.
because it's kind of scripted in that regard.
Yeah.
So it made for a better game actually, because if they did manage to sneak past them, there would be no combat.
I mean, this is
So-
kind of cool. You can direct your creature to do things for you.
Which is
But then again,
adorable.
nobody hears this thing moving when she jumps on it. I guess they think
Yeah.
they expect it to know, but then all those guys there are just nobody's paying attention or looking up to the moving thing.
Oh, but
Um,
that's an entirely different thing in games. I also have it with Gotham Knights. Nobody ever looks up.
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
same goes for all other games that have this, like Assassin's Creed and Jedi Survivor or Jedi Fallen Order. Nobody looks
Yeah, but
up.
that's just a suspension of disbelief. You
Exactly.
need to
Yeah, I
do
guess
that
so.
because
Yeah.
otherwise
Yeah.
games won't be fun. If you're constantly
Yeah.
punished for trying to do something
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they pay attention to everything, the game won't be fun.
No,
True.
exactly.
Yeah, it has to
So
be.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
it has to be Star Wars cool, right?
Yeah. You
And
need to be
this
able to do
does
cool
look Star
shit
Wars
and
cool.
get away with
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But everything so far, I do see a lot of animation that I know from The Division, which is fine because it's the same studio, and all games reuse previous animations and that sort of stuff.
That's same
So
engine, so.
yeah. So, but I do love this combat style.
I mean, it's cool to have, like I said, have a non-Jedi game again,
Mhm.
where you like weapons and gadgets and tools are the things you
Yeah.
fight with.
Yeah.
Because it's so different from like wielding the lightsaber and doing
Mhm.
your combo moves again.
Yeah.
So I like that. Like here, she uses a grapple hook. It's probably gonna come in handy in other things in the game as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then
It's
yeah, of
kind of giving
course,
me Tomb Raider vibes
yeah, a little bit
with
of
the grapple hook.
yeah. I wonder if you can like, because this is, I don't know if I think this is her speeder bike, but I wonder if it's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
if it's also gonna be like having like maybe GTA kind of features where you can
Yeah.
steal vehicles and stuff.
Because I talked about this earlier. I did get especially with the combat on the speeder bikes, the slow motion at some point, the dead eye kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Really reminded me of Red Dead Redemption.
Mm.
But there's also some the worlds are going to be open, but we don't know
Yeah.
how big they are going to be. They might be
No.
a smaller zones because
There
you can
probably
travel
will be.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
feel
you can
like
travel
yeah.
from world to world, but
Exactly.
it does look kind of big at some point during this during the gameplay that they showed during the Ubisoft Forward stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see how far you can actually go and how big the areas actually are and how many planets there are because we don't know any of that
No.
yet.
No, there's like there's a trailer afterwards after the gameplay stuff ends where you
Mhm.
can steal multiple like recognizable locations from
Yeah.
the Star Wars movies.
Mhm.
So we're gonna visit locations from the later episodes and
Mhm.
probably from the
Maybe
series
from,
and stuff.
yeah, maybe even from Andor. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's Mandalorian
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm glad that they use this engine though because it does look
Mhm.
really good.
Mhm.
Like there's lots of detail in this game.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Like the little rolling rocks there in the wind and
Mhm. A bit
the
of dust
flags
and
and
yeah.
yeah. It's
It
just
it
yeah.
it looks suitably like a space western, just like the original movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's going back to
Yeah.
that aesthetic,
Yeah.
which I
Also,
like.
yeah. You go ahead. Finish your
Oh,
sentence.
sorry. No, no, that was basically it. I
Okay.
like that the original Star Wars movies where the Jedi part was the special thing, right?
Mhm.
And like that's like the mystery and the oh my god, it's a Jedi. Like
Yeah.
that's what I liked about the
Mhm.
originals a
Yeah.
lot, and that's what this game gives too.
Mhm.
You're in the underworld of Star Wars, and there's bigger
Yeah.
things happening, but
Yeah.
this is a more personal story. So
Mhm. Yeah. And what I also liked is there's one character that your partner which is a old battle droid
Hmm.
called ND5, so Andy.
yeah,
Andy-5, but he's wearing a trench coat, so that's pretty funny because people are all already fans of Andy
yeah.
because
The
of
robots,
it's a robot in a
yeah,
trench coat. I
a
mean,
lot
come
of
on.
robot characters that are cool in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Of course, there's the flying bit later on. I think that's. Oh wait, the end
Yeah,
there.
it's a bit further ahead in
There it
this
is.
Yeah.
video.
That's
Where
actually
they.
what sold me on the game. The space
Yeah.
combat looks good.
There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, here you fly in real time because
Mhm.
This is
they
a
do
loading
have
zone.
and then you can boost
Yeah.
and
This is just a loading zone. This part.
yeah, this part, yeah, the cloud
Yeah,
layer, which
after
is really smart.
when you enter the cloud
Yeah,
area, yeah, that's definitely but I think you can also fly over the area
yeah,
on the
of
planet
course.
itself
Yeah,
eventually. But once you enter space, it's really cool.
yeah. I think it's gonna be locked to certain zones. Like it's not gonna be like
Oh,
you can fly
yeah.
everywhere, but
And
No,
you
no.
can probably
um,
hyperdrive to the next area. This is just
Yeah,
yeah,
particular
yeah.
zone.
So, sort of like Everspace does as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have certain zones that you can enter, and but it looks pretty big. There's a pretty big zones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's
I think
easy
that's going
to
to be the
make
same
space
for the
look
climate.
big because the
yeah.
invisible wall's probably somewhere at the end.
Far away. Yeah. It's far away. Because they center all the stuff, the combat, the interesting parts in the middle, and there's a wide area around it that
The nebula
it
back there, that's probably the end of this zone.
probably, yeah.
And
I don't think you can even
they're
get to the
just gonna
nebula
jump.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, this is another
So,
loading area.
I
They
Oh,
clearly
do,
used it.
that's clear.
yeah. I do love the hyper jumps in Star Wars.
Yeah, the
They look
design
so
is
good.
always, the tunnel is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
And then,
stars and that sort of stuff is amazing. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, this could be a really good Stars game. You know, it's in line with the Jedi games.
Mhm.
You know, like maybe a new franchise. We don't know.
Yeah, I hope
if
so.
if this is a success, then they'll probably follow this up.
Mhm.
But yeah, looks
Yeah.
good graphically. It seems solid.
Mhm.
Story might be interesting. New character to explore. So yeah, I'm just another game to keep an eye on.
Mhm.
Yep.
I wonder if there's going to be customization and that sort of stuff. Probably.
Yeah, probably in gear and stuff and
Yeah,
outfits.
you're
I
gonna
can
get a
imagine,
different leather jacket or something.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Maybe even some
Oh.
like things for the pet. You don't know.
You can
Yeah.
already see different clothes happening at I think certain parts of this.
No, I don't think so. But it might be. Yeah. No, not here.
No,
I don't
that's
think
the
they do
same.
that for the trailer.
Yeah.
But I
But yeah,
mean,
lots of
I
different
hope.
locations already here in
Yeah.
this set. So
And I hope you can commandeer and add that because those are fun.
yeah, there's
So.
probably stuff like that. I can imagine because the
Yeah.
vehicles is a big part of this. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it looks
So,
good.
Yeah.
It looks fun. Okay,
Definitely on my wish list already.
so
But it's going to be 2024, and we don't know when in 2024. So
this
we'll
is
see.
the end of the Summerfest. We
Ubisoft.
basically saw everything. Obviously, we didn't talk about the PC gaming show. We're gonna summarize that next week.
Yeah,
on,
there's a lot
on
of
the next
like
podcast.
indie stuff in there.
Yeah, a lot.
Like there's no like there weren't like any very big reveals.
True.
It was a lot of like updates or very small games there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because game development takes time,
Yes.
and it's getting longer and longer, I'm afraid.
It's about
So-
5 years now. The turnaround on a single game is about 5 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy if you think
So,
about that. It's 5 years of your life for one single product.
I mean, for AAA games, yeah, that is big.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I do understand that some publishers don't want to take any more risks, but I'm happy to see that we do get new games, like from Capcom, and a brand new game from the Persona team. So that's pretty cool.
I do want to say F you, Sony, for putting an $80 price tag on a standard edition of Spider-Man 2. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
Ridiculous.
Like
God
10
damn
euros,
it.
okay, but now it's 20 euros, and it's insane.
That's
so
crazy.
stupid. Yeah.
So that's ridiculous. They also you have a digital deluxe edition that has costumes that are not available to buy when you in any of the physical versions, because there's just one. There's either the collector's edition that comes with a statue, but it has a code for the digital deluxe edition, so you don't even get a physical game with that.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the
thing
standard edition that doesn't come with any additions whatsoever. So F you, Sony, for pushing the envelope and giving us an $80 standard edition game. Screw you.
Yeah.
With that being said, how do you guys rate this Summer Game Fest? What did you think, and what's your general consensus of what we can expect in the next year and maybe moving forward? Let's start with Metzman on this one.
It's been a great year for video games this year.
Yeah.
And we're still getting some. And yeah, next year a longer list of bangers. And they're probably going to be good games, most of them.
Yep.
Which is nice, you know. So yeah, I was very happy with this Summerfest. I mean, I do like miss some of the. I always have like this hindsight feeling, like like this feeling of things past E3s were better, E3s and stuff like that. I mean, but yeah, I feel. I mean, Sony was not very great this year.
Oh no.
Sony is
They have
having
this
a
lull
year.
in. They have a lull currently in their console lineup.
Yeah,
But they
Oh.
had a stellar year last year.
They had
Let's not forget.
I mean, they had
yeah.
a stellar couple of years actually. So
I mean,
it's normal. This always
yeah.
happens.
I mean, we might
So
get some more stuff. You know, we always have the video game awards. We have Gamescom. There's a few
Tokyo Game
opportunities.
Show.
Yeah, Tokyo Game
Yeah.
Show. There's a few opportunities for some announcements.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although Sony
Yeah.
isn't going to be at the Gamescom,
Okay.
so they already said that. So
Oh right.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah.
that, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
They still
I
have
added a
Spider-Man,
lot more.
that's it.
Yeah, I added a lot more games to my wish list, so
Mm-hmm.
that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Fush.
I think it was okay. I mean, there's like Matt said, there's a lot of stuff already out, and there's some good stuff coming. Not always this year, of course. I wanted to see. Perhaps I wanted the Star Wars game. I want the Star Wars game a lot earlier than 2024, but I want it to be good. So take your time, finish the game, make it playable. Hardly any bugs. That's the most important part.
And
Yeah.
don't crunch.
And don't crunch. Yeah, crunch is deadly for developers. For some, even literally.
And it stifles
unfortunately. So,
creativity. Let's not forget that.
Hmm?
And it stifles creativity.
oh yeah,
Let's not forget
100%.
that.
I mean, I've never been a fan of crunch, and
But that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring it up.
So, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
But it's important, and but there's some good stuff coming.
For me, it was
yeah.
it was a good couple of showcases. I haven't watched every single one of them, but I came out of it mostly anticipating the next year. Like I want to see what Fable's going to do. I want to see the Star Wars
yeah.
game. I want to see in a few months what Starfield will bring to the table, and how it will influence games going forward. I'm looking forward to playing Persona 3 again. It's going to be fun, and to actually do that with the current setup. To play a new tactics game based on Persona is going to be fantastic. Mortal Kombat coming the end of the year. We didn't talk about it now, but yeah, it was
September.
it's coming in September. It's going to come around the same time that Starfield's coming out, so that's going to be well, luckily fighting games usually do well within a certain community, but yeah, there's so much good stuff coming, and I'm talking about the big games. There are so many good indies that are also coming out.
Yeah, I was going to say that the indies kind of exploded this year.
Yeah.
There's so many of them that I have a hard time keeping track of everything.
That is a thing. So I want to give a shout out to every single indie game. If you are an indie developer and you want to have a spot on this podcast, maybe talk to us so we can talk about your game. Let us know. You can find us on Twitter at Pixels Sprites, and we would love to have an interview with you and talk about your game and how game development is going for you in general. With that being said, we'll be back next week. So, Metzman, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the Metzman, TheMetzman. That's where I do all my stuff. That's where I also, if I go live with streams, which I occasionally do when I feel like it, I'll announce it on there as well. So you can find everything for me on the Twitter.
Oh, and if you're watching this on YouTube, the link to Metz's cooking video will be in the description below. So give that a watch and give that a like. So Vash, where can they find you?
Still on Twitter.
Still on Twitter?
Yep. It's PV Bicon. So PVBAIKUN. And
okay.
Yeah, I'm not always that active. I keep saying it every week, but sometimes I'm quite active. So yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like the podcast, share it with your friends. The more people actually get to hear this podcast and enjoy it, the bigger this podcast gets. So share it around. It will help us tremendously, and it will help this podcast grow. And don't forget to give feedback on Spotify. You can give feedback on the podcast every single week. So if there's something you enjoyed about the podcast or something you didn't enjoy about the podcast, let us know so we can, evolve and change. We've been doing this for only 21 episodes, and I think we're doing a good job, but we can always improve. So let us know. Okay.
Yep.
Then that's going to be it. You can find Pixels and Sprites at Pixels and Sprites. You can find us on YouTube on the Pixels and Sprites live channel, and you can find us over on Twitch on the Pixels and Sprites channel. So that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. Have a great week, everybody. See you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.